just to say a little prayer, okay? Because it might get a little bit interesting.
No, no. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all
What's
feeling?
up? Look who it is. Look who it is. It's my guy. What's up, Brother D?
What's happening?
Hey, what's up, Natty? How you doing now?
I'm great, man.
I'm good. Hey, man, that interesting game,
Amen.
right? Interesting game. Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah. South Philly is on fire right now because it's I'm gonna use your word, Kai. Unacceptable. Unacceptable is the word we're gonna use tonight.
That is my
Seriously,
word.
because Philly, they gave them the game. They gave Green Bay that game, and Green Bay kind of like just fumbled it. Nick Sirianni trying to be real cool by bringing in. My face too big. Oh Lord. But Nick Sirianni, bringing on, letting that last play to get AJ Brown a touchdown. Allowing him to do what he do, and I just.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Continue. I'm gonna fix this.
Oh no. Okay, great. All right. I know you can hear me. Yeah, but allowing it looked like they were trying to get AJ Brown a touchdown at the end, and just be a real smart A about it. Like, oh yeah, we got our touchdown. We know we ran it up on y'all. Y'all try to do y'all thing with the going for it on short yardage. But when that happened, I was just like, you know what? Nick Sirianni should be slapped in his face because that.
No, not slapped in the face.
No, well, it's Philadelphia. It's a little different down here. But
wow.
Seriously, because he had no business putting he put the entire game on the line, trying to be smart, trying to be funny, or that little thing that we do in Philly. It's like a little in your face thing we like to do, but it's like, dude, it wasn't time for that.
Also, how did he almost put the whole game on the line? I don't understand.
Well,
by going for it that late, going for that touchdown, that to me that look at the Ramos, you run the clock down and you punt it. They're deep in there. They're deep. They can't get out. You know what I mean? They can't really come out. So basically, you put the game on the line by what they could have tied it and won, or they could have scored a touchdown, and that was careless. I mean, the whole sports world is talking about it. I mean, we see it. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure what people are like what leg do you think that that Sirianni has to stand on with that play?
What you mean? He just come off a Super Bowl. I like the play personally. I mean, now I understand you sound like you would have preferred they punt the ball in that situation and try to pin them inside the 10 and make it damn near impossible drive. And which I understand that strategy, but I also understand the strategy that he went with, and they won the game.
But see, this is where the problem come in with that. I understand that they're the Super Bowl champs. Well, you know what? Just like Jalen said, that's last year. That's why they don't wear that little patch on their uniforms. When you do stuff like that, what you're doing is you're putting yourself, you're putting your whole team in a predicament where now instead of being 7-2, you're now going to be 6-3. You're messing things up for not only that, for the whole psyche of your team. You just brought in like 4 or 5 new guys on defense, and they're getting dragged into the end zone. I don't even want to talk about that play. So when a coach does something like that, it just shows that to me that he's immature, that he gives into AJ Brown. If they wanted to get to AJ Brown, they could have got him the ball the whole game. Don't wait to the last minute in order to prove something and slap somebody in their face. So I just think that the Eagles they acted like really the coach play calling. I was saying it the whole time. Play calling. It was their play calling was it was dry. It was mundane. They didn't do anything to open the middle was open the whole game, and they didn't do anything to take advantage of it. And we seen even when Smitty got his touchdown, it was underthrown. And he had to take it from the ball. So I just think that a lot of things that they have to resolve with Jalen, as well as the the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, I was saying a lot of the complaints that I'm hearing you have, those are not complaints for the head coach. Those are complaints for the quarterback. The quarterback got to make the reads, and the quarterback got to put the ball where it needs to be. I think Sirianni called an offensive coordinator, Patello. He called a great game considering the weather and the circumstances. I mean, they ran the hell out the ball tonight. They gave Saquon the ball a lot tonight, and they passed when they need to pass. They kind of knew it was going to be a defensive game. It was going to be a low-scoring game.
I mean, we all knew that.
Right.
Right.
The last play to AJ, I can understand your sentiments when it comes to that. I don't even believe that was about making AJ Brown happy. I just believe they wanted to run a few more seconds out the clock. He was going to throw it up. If AJ Brown made a play, he made a play. If it got intercepted, then that's what you call an arm punt, where they didn't really care. They just wanted really to run a few more seconds out the clock. They had no confidence that Jordan Love was going to be able to do anything from that part of the field where they went for it on fourth down, which I believe was somewhere close to the 30-yard line. So I'm not mad at the play call, but they could have punted and pinned them inside of the 10, maybe. And I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Yeah, but you know, when I see stuff like that, it's just like, well, Nick Sirianni, he's like a real sassy dude. You know what I mean? Like, so he does little he does little sissy stuff, you know. And I think that was just like a real sissy. He's a sissy. He's a punk. He a punk. That's why he got that big bodyguard standing next to him. But that's neither here nor there. But I mean, you see his bodyguard, right?
I'll say that. I think that's a little bit
Come on, Big Dom.
Sissy.
He is a sissy.
I don't know, man. I don't
know.
Who
says sissy?
That's an old school term.
Who says sissy anymore in 2025, sir?
He's a sissy. He is a sissy.
But who says sissy though? I haven't heard that in so long.
But that's why he argues with. That's why he argues with the fans. He up there and he's mouthing off because
the fans be talking too much sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's Philly. Philly, that's what we do. You know, I mean, you see me, I'm chippy. You know what I mean? That's what we do.
That's not just Philly though. They do it in basketball, other states as well. It's not just specific to Philly.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what we do. So you want to see
Philly is known for having the most belligerent fans in all the sports.
They the racist fans. I'm about to leave that alone. But
all that belligerent covers all that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I just think that when we're looking at the Eagles and how everything had broke down at the end, I just think that Sirianni just did it just to be sassy. He did it just to slap them in their face. And this is why it's dangerous. Jordan Love is really like a big play guy. He's not really like a dink and dunk dude. So did you notice how he was throwing the ball in the second half? He was throwing that thing like a rocket. And so I said, you have to really watch out because those guys was like missing a couple of the passes and everything. I said, look, if they had a couple of those, Eagles would have lost. The Eagles would have lost. The Eagles are my team. I don't hold no. I'm not biased to people like that. I mean, I just call it straight. Like to me, it was.
So do you see them going back to back?
Huh? Do I see them going back to back?
Yeah,
I do. Oh yeah, I definitely see them making it out of the making it back to the Super Bowl. But
you see them going back to back. That means winning back to back, not just getting it.
Not winning. No. I don't know if they'll win it. I don't know if they'll win it. Nope.
Why not?
Because you know why? Because their play calling is so trashy, and to have the weapons that they do, and I take advantage of it. I know some quarterbacks will come in here and take full advantage. They will get to the line of scrimmage and be like, you know what? I'm gonna call the audible, or I'm gonna go to this one. Like this, have like full control. I know we say that Jalen is that. But when I look at him, I was like, somebody called that play. You didn't call that play. You know, that wasn't no audible. He didn't do anything special. You know, he may have he may shift the players or so, but he's not really doing anything special. And I that's why I don't think that they will beat, because basically I think Mahomes and them is going to make it back. I don't think Jasmine Allen is not going to.
Don't have me boost you up out of here.
I think Jasmine Allen's not gonna make it back. No, he's not. He makes too many mistakes.
You will be booted up out of
Josh
here.
Allen, look, no, come on now. Josh
No, I'm
Allen
actually
is a
very
joke. You
serious.
know that, huh?
Play if you
Huh?
want to. You be booted up out of here and banned. Play if you want to.
God. And banned.
And banned,
Wow,
yes.
wow,
You will be banned.
wow,
Play if you want to.
wow.
We are talking about
man.
Philly. Let's keep it
that black
cute.
woman sassiness, boy. That's that black woman in you. No, but that's why I feel with Sirianni. Sirianni, he just, he does the wrong thing. He calls the wrong. They call the wrong plays. Eagles can be much better. And everybody who likes to, oh yeah, we'll be risky at the end. I was like, not with the way they defense playing.
The
Those
defense
guys
is
wasn't
playing great.
With who?
The
Philadelphia
Philly defense. Philly defense played great tonight. They only gave up 7 points in 4 quarters. They played great. And you got Brandon Graham back.
They played great tonight.
Kenyon Mitchell is back. And it's only gonna get better as soon as they get Jair Alexander in the fold. I mean, Reed Blankenship is playing great. Cooper DeJean in the slot is playing great. You got man, Jalen Carter. Those guys, man. The Eagles defense was superb tonight. I was very impressed.
You don't like their defense tonight? You weren't. You thought it was the.
I still see problems in their secondary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think their defense.
No, not perfect, great. But you don't think that they played. You don't think that they played great tonight? I'm not saying they were perfect. They don't have any flaws or anything to work on. But overall, you don't think it was a good performance?
I really think that Green Bay had more problems than Philly had answers. That's what I really think. I didn't see Philly up in anyone's face. I didn't see them like really running. I just think that Green Bay just wasn't doing enough.
So you think it was more? So you think it was more Green Bay lost the game than Philly won it?
Oh, Green Bay definitely lost this game. Green
Bay
definitely. Green Bay.
I gotta disagree. I gotta disagree with you there. Now I know you don't like the play call and stuff like that, but when you think about, especially in the fourth quarter, when they had opportunities to win, like the amount of penalties that Philly had tonight, then forget that and go to the fourth quarter. Like I didn't agree with that last call that Sirianni made, but they had 2 chances late in the fourth quarter to close that game out or at least get it to overtime, and they failed both times. So I gotta say, like, all the mistakes that Philly made in this game and the fact that they still had a chance to win it not once but twice, I'm like, that's on y'all. I can't say like for me, I can't say the Packers lost it more than Philly won it because they had chance after chance, especially like in the fourth quarter.
But didn't we see Green Bay? Did we see? Well, it was actually Jordan Love, just like miss a lot of throws. Didn't we just see him just miss?
Don't give Philly defense any credit for that? I mean, Jordan Love had 176 yards passing, which is pedestrian. I mean, he completed 55% of his passes, which is well below average. I mean, I give Philadelphia defense some credit for some of that. And the fumble, and they turned them over.
Jordan Love is notorious for making mistakes during the game. He's not doing anything that he doesn't usually do. Even though you want to pull out statistics, they're so arbitrary. It's like, well, because I can toss a screen pass and they're like, oh, that counts for a pass. So I don't. That's why I don't always look at that. I'm looking at what are you taking advantage of when your people are wide open, or are you? You know what I mean? Are you capitalizing on it? And he wasn't. And that's the one thing I don't like that Jordan Love does. But it's like but what is he good for? He's good for big passes. He's good for coming back and throwing that bomb, just like Russell Wilson. That's what he's really good for. Everybody say he can make every throw. Where's the highlights? Give me the highlights. Tell me a time. Bring up that game and say, "Oh, you remember when?" And you know what you're going to do? I can't remember, because you can't remember because it really doesn't happen. It's like we put together these sequences in our head, but they're not. It's like it's not. We don't have no receipts for them. Jordan Love is still. When we say pedestrian, he is sort of pedestrian outside of big plays. What has he really done?
What you thinking, Nani?
He played very well in that Dallas Cowboy game. He put up some big numbers in that game. I mean, but like we said,
But that
Jordan Love,
defense is awful.
yeah,
So-
That's not, yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you what he did. I ain't talking about the defense. I'm just saying what he did. But we agree that Jordan Love has been very inconsistent this
inconsistent, yeah,
year.
he is.
He's been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and argue about Jordan Love playing well because frankly, he hasn't played well. He hasn't played up to the standard.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why that's what I don't like about Jordan Love. Even though I got to root for him because he a brother. You know,
I mean, now through 9
Oh,
games, he has
God.
completed 71% of his
Come on,
passes
Ty, you know,
coming
come
into
on.
the night. But I mean, 71% of your passes getting completed through 9 games. That's pretty good.
Nasir said in his defense, Milton came in for Dobbs and dropped a couple of passes, and Wicks dropped a critical pass too.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier. He had some wide receivers that dropped some huge passes that could have changed the outcome of this game.
Dobbs dropped some too. So, so they
Yeah.
were just taking turns. Like, yo, man, I'm going in next. I'm gonna drop something, so let me go in. That's all it really was. So, listen, I'm telling you, Philly would have lost that game. That's how Philly is, man. We're fickle. We're fickle like
I don't
that.
think Philly
And-
would have lost that game. And they gave them every chance to win that game. Philly was just giving away opportunities for this game. I'm like, if it wasn't for that defense, like really and truly, it would have been like they wouldn't have won this game. The defense definitely showed up today.
No, Philly did what Philly was, I guess, supposed to do. But I didn't. I'm telling you the truth. I really didn't. They didn't play a great game. I'm sorry. They didn't.
I didn't say it was a great game. I didn't say it was great. It definitely had. I've definitely seen better games from Philly.
But you can play. Look, you can win ugly, but they did stupid stuff. I mean, this
I
is
said
stupid.
that. I agree.
Yeah,
Hence,
I mean,
passing on
I-
penalties. It was just stupid penalties, and they still managed to win.
You know what, Philly?
you can't- Go ahead. I'm sorry, son. Go ahead.
What you
No,
gonna
I'm
say?
saying Philly has won every game that they won this year has just been
Mhm.
has been ugly. The 2 games where they tried to play pretty, they lost. So I'm
Yeah.
okay with Philly playing ugly if that's what it takes to win. It's about the W at the end of the day, and I will agree that the defense played pretty good. The offense was shabby. The offense has to get better. I will agree with that. But
Yeah.
you got to look. One of the top MVP runners in the game right now is Matthew Stafford. The Eagles beat Matthew Stafford. They beat the Rams. So they beating good teams. They beating good teams on the road like they did tonight against Green Bay. Sometimes you just got to be happy with a win. And
But
that's
all
what
right,
that's what they
Matthew
did.
Stafford. You mean the Statue of Liberty guy, right? So
I mean, the guy that has 3 straight games of 4 touchdowns to no interceptions, and probably the top 3 MVP runner right now.
I believe he's
Matthew
thrown
Stafford.
21 touchdowns, 0 interceptions the past few games.
Yeah, I mean, he's been excellent.
and he would have beat the Philadelphia in the playoffs last year. Remember, he
But he
did
didn't.
very good. But I know, but he didn't. I understand that. We got the
Jalen Carter showed
But-
up late in that game.
and that's my point. It's sometimes it comes down just to keep people like, look, I have a like you have a nemesis, and I'm gonna sick him on you, and he gonna dog you out. He gonna keep you rattled the whole game, and that's what ended up happening with him.
But they still won it though. We could sit here and say that they had a chance to win. Of course they did. You know, like they had definitely a chance to win, but they didn't. They lost.
Yeah, my point. No, y'all was bragging on him a little bit, but I was just saying, well, basically, to me, he's a Statue of Liberty guy. So it's like,
he's still a great quarterback though. He might not be the most mobile, but he's still talented.
Yeah, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah,
He's a great quarterback. But my whole point is just that when see, this is really what the problem is. When somebody puts somebody on your ass and you can't figure it out, you're a problem now. You're a liability. Because now all I got to do is do that one thing to you, and I got you. And so
who's liability? Who's in liability?
I'm talking about the quarterback because he's like he's
Jordan Love.
No,
you want Jalen?
that's
no,
in the
I was-
quarterback in the
He's on
history of the
Stafford.
league.
huh?
You want Matthew
I'm not-
Stafford?
I'm not Stafford. Yeah, I'm not talking about
Oh,
being out of
okay.
the
Go
league.
ahead. I was
I'm
kind of
just
lost. Go ahead.
I'm just talking about whatever or whomever. If you
hmm
have a nemesis and you can't figure them out, or if you can't even match their level, then it's a problem. I.e., my main man, Jasmine Allen, can't figure it out. When you can't figure it out, you're a liability.
He's
And
not liability.
listen,
What we're
no
not
matter
going to
how
do is disrespect that man's talent on this here live. It is not going to happen at all. I will shut this
The
live
brother,
you
down
gonna call
quick,
ice
fast,
on
and
me,
in a hurry. We are not going to disrespect
you
that
call
man's
ice,
talent at
I,
all.
you
That's
call
what we're
ice,
not going to do. We are not going to do that. I don't care if he's black, white,
you gonna
pink,
call ice,
purple. We're not going to do that.
man.
I will
You
say
gonna call,
this, brother D. Any
all right, go ahead.
quarterback in the history of the league, if you can put pressure on him, that's gonna That's gonna alter his game. I mean, you could talk about Tom Brady. We saw the Super Bowls that Tom Brady lost was because
Mm-hmm.
the opposing defense was able to rush the quarterback with the front four and get pressure on him, and that can knock any quarterback off their game. So
All right.
that's the key.
But look, all right. So you can't use that, and this is why you can't use that. You can't use
That's
that
real.
because when we look at, but no. I'm talking about, but watch the caveats. Tom Brady lit the Eagles up when we beat them. He lit them up for 400
Oh yeah,
yards.
500. It was the greatest Super Bowl performance I ever seen, and he lost.
He lit them up. And so when I look at Tom Brady, even when look about with Atlanta, when he came back, they was getting him, they was chopping him up, but he came back. He won that one. But my whole point is just this: is that it's how you answer to things. It's always how you answer. It's not good enough. And I know I'm really like a D head right now because I'm like everybody's Superman. You know, I'm not really saying. I understand that, and sorry to the people who on my thing who may listen. Anyway, but the whole point is that when you can figure something out, it's sort of like a bully. Your lunch is going to get taken every day. It doesn't matter. So it may sound here, oh, that's my guy. He's my boy. Jalen, my boy. But Negro, you got to throw the ball. You got to move your feet. What you going to do? Just stand there and be like, oh, okay. Oh, we're going to keep trying to run into Saquon. No,
Yeah,
you got to
run
throw
into
that
Saquon.
ball. Huh?
I'm saying run to Saquon. That's a good idea. I mean, we sitting here talking like we haven't seen Jalen Hurts do it. We saw him do it. We saw him do it against Kansas City in fine fashion. We saw that defense not blitz Pat Mahomes one time, rushed him with 4,
But
and was getting.
I can't wipe my ass with the toilet paper I used yesterday. You get what I'm saying?
But it's still working today. It's 7-2.
Sorry, Kai. This is a grown man talk right now.
It's 7-2. That toilet paper's still good. That's some good paper.
It ain't no good paper no more. I don't. It's over.
You know you gotta.
If y'all want to fold my fans,
you gotta fold that paper over, and then you can wipe again.
No.
I don't fold. I'm 6'4", 270. I don't fold nothing, man. It's over, man. It's 2 points after that. No.
Jesus Christ. But I think we sometimes we take for granted just how good Philly is because they have so many ways they can win. It doesn't have to always look pretty. You don't have to look how it did last year. Even Saquon, think about the impact Saquon had last season. He hasn't really had it this season at all, really. And they're still finding ways to win, So the talent is there. The variety is there. Now, I know that everybody's mad that it doesn't look as fancy and Saquon's not doing Saquon-like things like he was last season. But they don't have to do that every single game. But I do believe that if they need to win a big game, they will show up and answer the call. Personally, I do believe it.
Saquon is doing exactly what Saquon needs to do. Saquon is a threat. Whether he runs for 120 yards or he runs for 50 yards, the fact that you have Saquon in your backfield is going to have the opposing defense on alert because they know that at any moment, Saquon can gas him for 65 yards, as we seen a couple of weeks ago. They know that. So that threat, that actually helps when you're talking about Jalen Hurts performing in the passing game. And yes, tonight he was pedestrian. But in the last couple of weeks,
Right.
you look at what Devontae Smith, the numbers he was putting up, they were great. You look at the numbers that Goddard was picking up, they was decent numbers. Even AJ Brown has had a few passes. So I just think tonight it was tradition, it was a grind, but they found a way to win, and they beat a good team. I can take that. I can take that.
You know that that they
Pause.
did. They beat a team that's you know that's making some
You don't
strides.
think the
in
Packers are a good team?
Didn't they tie with Dallas?
Dallas
Yeah.
offense. Dallas has a good offense. The defense sucks, but the offense is good.
But a tie.
The
But
defense is
no.
not. The offense is not
I
good in
leave that alone.
Dallas.
I mean, that can happen to any. All right, a tie can happen to anyone. It really can because of time can run out. So I understand that. All right, but at the end of the day, I just think that the Eagles have too many weapons. If you have a slot receiver, if you have a good tight end, and you have a big, strong wide receiver, and then you have a great running back and a mobile quarterback, I'm sitting here, I'm going, bro, you're going to be doing a lot more than what you're doing. And that means that, to me, you're not efficient, because if you were efficient, somebody has to be open. Smitty can catch a ball with somebody literally in his face. Literally. AJ got a little Michael Irvin in him. He can push anybody off. He's so strong. You know what I mean? My thing is, so when I see that, and I look, and then you got big, they tight end, and you could throw him a ball. He's strong as an ox. And I go, wait a minute. What is going on with Jalen?
Yeah, but what I will say,
Is it just me, or is he frozen?
yeah, no, he's froze up.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is my screen?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
go
cold
ahead.
up in there. It's cold up there in Philly. But what I will say, he has a point.
But Wi-Fi. Go ahead.
But the NFL season is 17 weeks, regular season. Every week, a football team practices to get better. You're supposed to be better in week 3 than you are in week 1. You're supposed to be better in week 10 than you are in week 5. And so by week 16 and 17, I expect the Eagles to be better than they are today at week 10. So to be 7-2 and still grinding to get better, I'm gonna take that because I believe that they will get better in the coming weeks. They won't be the same team in week 13, week 14 that they are today.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you where I do think that the Eagles will be fine. I agree with that. I just don't like the fact that they act like they have to figure something out that they already know the answer to. You can't keep acting like, oh, guess what? I have a wide receiver that can catch a ball like 20 yards down the field. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I got a great slot receiver. Yeah. And something else. Why don't they know screen passes? Why not? It's like they got a good O-line. So I don't get a lot of things that they do. And so when I look at them and I look at Jay, I was like, dude, I love you, but you need to, take command more of your offense. This is your fourth coordinator that we have so far. You should be able to say, you know what, y'all, since you guys want to keep switching things up, then I need to have some say-so in this. Because even though we all think that he does, I don't think he does. I think that's more.
I think we have to factor in that.
Last thought, I'm gonna give it to you. Go ahead.
I think we have to factor in that they are the Super Bowl champs, and everybody that they play, the Eagles are their Super Bowl. They watch a lot of film. They know what the Eagles like to do. They know what they're good at. They know their tendencies. So every game that the Philadelphia Eagles play is going to be tougher than the games they played last year. So there are some new wrinkles that they have to figure out. We just talked about they have a new offensive coordinator and they listen to a different voice. they're running some different plays. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're running a lot of the same plays too, but at the same time, a lot of opposing defense have kind of figured them out a little bit. So the fact that they're 7-2, I think that's pretty good. The Eagles just have to understand that they have to make they might have to make counter adjustments to the adjustments that opposing defenses have made for them due to a lot of film study, because that's all they do is study film, study tendencies. And the Eagles got their work cut out for them. It's hard to go back to back.
Yeah.
No, it is. No, it is.
I knew that was coming. All right,
Everybody
you
plays.
guys, I'm gonna move along to the next topic, all right? Because look, all right, I'm gonna pray that this goes smoothly. But you pissed me off yesterday in the text. I was like, is he really defending Kevin Stefanski again? So, all right, you guys. So, as we all know, I don't know if you guys watched it, but we did see Aaron Rodgers, and it wasn't a good game, right? Obviously, both the Browns and the Steelers lost, and it's especially bad for me with the Steelers because they had an advantage, given that Lamar was out. You know what I mean? Like they were, I think, what the Ravens were at 1-5. They've had a chance, like really, like take over and like really like step and submit, and get that run. But now the Ravens take one game behind, I believe, if I'm correct. They're one game behind, so that window has pretty much closed. And with the Browns, the Browns are what, 2-7. Like don't even get me started on them, because the Browns are just a pathetic excuse for organization, honestly speaking. But nevertheless, I feel like, I know we saw Brian Dable got fired earlier today. If I'm being honest, I fuck into this season, Mike Tomlin and or Kevin Stefanski, it's time for a new voice. And honestly speaking, I really feel like Mike Tomlin, I think he's, at this point, I don't think it's going to get any better with him as a Bills head coach. And that's not because I don't think he's a great head coach or he's a bad head coach. I just feel like they've hit their point. Like they're not going to go past that, I don't think, with him. I think it really is time for a new voice in the locker room.
One of the reasons why I like the Pittsburgh Steelers as an organization is because they don't fire coaches left and right. They've had 3 head coaches in the tenure of that franchise. I like the fact that they're giving Mike Tomlin, their first black head coach, the same rope and same leeway they gave all their other coaches. Whenever Mike Tomlin decides to move on or call it quits or leave the franchise, that's when Mike Tomlin is going to be out of Pittsburgh. Until that day comes, Mike Tomlin is going to be in Pittsburgh. He's going to be a head coach. He's a great coach. Sometimes you don't have the dogs to go out there and eat for you. We know what he got at quarterback. He has a 41-year-old quarterback who's not as mobile as he used to.
That's who they wanted.
Yeah.
That's who they held out. Like they held out for him.
When you always win and you have a winning record every year, you don't have high draft picks. So they don't have the luxury of going in the draft and taking one of the top quarterbacks in the draft and then saying, okay, we're going to develop him and make him our franchise quarterback. They don't have that luxury. So lately they've been going into, they did draft a quarterback, and he'll get his chance going maybe next year or the year after that, but they have to always get a stopgap guy. And you don't really you got DK, but Calvin Austin is a slot receiver. He shouldn't be your other outside receiver. I like Calvin Austin. I like Roman Wilson, but these guys are slot receivers. And I don't like the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. I didn't like him in Tennessee. I didn't like him when he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. But that's who Mike Tomlin hired. So I put that on him and Mr. Kern, the general manager. I put that on them. But the truth of the matter is they're going to finish over 500 again. They're going to make the playoffs. And we'll see where the chips fall. The defense is good, but the offense is shaky at best. And yesterday they played a good San Diego Chargers defense that has been giving everybody problems. So it is what it is. I like Mike Tomlin. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
I think he should. At this point, you got to ask. So, are we here just to get to the playoffs and then get booted out, or are we actually here to win and and actually get to Super Bowl, or at least try to get to Super Bowl?
But you told me You got to make the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl.
Exactly, but they get there and then they get booted out. They don't win. And it's been quite a few years. Now I can understand that obviously like he hasn't had, a QB or, the most talented QB. They haven't had the highest picks in the draft, to get the most talented QBs or the most talented players, in the top 5, top 10. But so what's the plan though? Then what is the actual plan to move this franchise forward to actually winning and actually being able to contend for Super Bowls? I don't think the goal as for ownership is to just get there and then be out as soon as you get there every single year. Get to the playoffs, don't win. Get there, don't win. Get there, don't win. Like we keep saying, he's never had a losing season, And that may be true, but they're still not winning in the postseason. So what is the goal? Just to get there and then go home and then sit around and watch with the rest of us? Or are you actually trying to win?
They're trying to win.
And like I said, it doesn't mean for me, like sometimes, even in relationships, sometimes like you get as far as you can with a person. It doesn't mean that I'm bad or you're bad. Sometimes it's just time to move on because like we're not growing together. And that can be okay. Sometimes like he might go someplace else and who knows, he might win a Super Bowl or 2 playoff games off right off the back. You know what I mean? Like hit him, Brian Debo got fired. Let's say if the Giants took him, who knows what could happen next season? You know what I mean? They could playoff wins, who knows? You know what I mean? But sometimes we have to like stop trying to like, oh, well, he's such a great coach, yada yada. That he can be, but they're still not winning. So if they're not going high enough to draft the top picks in the draft, then what is the goal? Because you're not bringing in, who you're trading for is not helping either. They booted Russell Wilson out. And he actually looked better than Aaron Rodgers does this season to me in that Steelers offense.
He doesn't. He lost his last 5 games in Pittsburgh.
He lost his last 5 games. That wasn't all on Russell Wilson, though. There was quite a few things. And I mean, like the defense was kind of MIA. TJ Watt was MIA. There was a lot of things that happened as to why like they stopped winning games. It wasn't solely on Russ. But even with Aaron Rodgers being who he is, he doesn't look super great in that offense either. They keep changing the quarterback. But they keep the same coach, and it's still not working.
Well, we have to let's just do a little bit of history. The Pittsburgh have tried to move on from Ben Roethlisberger several times. Franchise quarterbacks don't fall off trees.
I never said they did.
And when you get one, you got one. So what they did, they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett didn't pan out. So you still got to field a team. You still got to have a quarterback. You got to put somebody back there. That's when they went and got Russ. They went and got Russell Wilson. He had a decent season, led them to the playoffs. His last 5 games were awful. They decided to move forward. They moved forward and they went in the draft. They got Will Howard from Ohio State, and they're hoping that Aaron Rodgers is a stopgap guy while they develop Will Howard. Will Will Howard turn into a franchise quarterback? I don't know, but that's the plan. The plan is to have a young guy in there who you can develop and have him be your franchise quarterback, have him be your Ben Roethlisberger, but picking a franchise quarterback is an inexact science.
Nobody said it was, but we can't sit here and excuse the fact that they haven't won the playoff game. I'm not going to make an excuse for it. If it was only 2 seasons, 3 seasons, okay. But it's been 2016 since they won a playoff game? It's almost 2026. So, like, we can't keep saying that year after 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 year. At some point, something has to change. Unless they just don't care about winning and they're fine with getting there and then going home, that's something different. But I'm going to assume as an owner, like, you do want to win at some point. At some point. Bugby, what you think?
Well, it may come as a shock to you guys, but because I'm down for my brothers. But you got to kind of like move on from Tomlin. I mean, and the reason why is because even though they drafted quarterbacks, I don't see him really doing anything offensively to help the team win. Like, they'll have a good wideout. They have they'll get a so-so quarterback in there, but it seemed like it's more of an experiment. It's like a Frankenstein almost. It's like we're gonna put these little parts together and we're gonna see how it's gonna tinker to it and get where it has to go. It seems like that Mike Tomlin doesn't allow like a real offensive mindset to come into Pittsburgh. Everything is still grit. It seemed like they holding on to nostalgia or the past in order to and trying to like bring it to the present. And that's all my thing with him. I mean, I love him as a dude. I think he's a dude, but
Dude.
yeah, he's dude, yeah, right. But I just don't. If that was my team, I would be frustrated. I would be thoroughly frustrated. I mean, I look at how the Eagles do move. I mean, of course, the Eagles is like, they're like the poster child of making moves now. But my whole thing is just that I don't see Tomlin doing anything. It's like, are we gonna bring in Russell Wilson? Okay, you bring in Russell, okay,
And Justin Field.
but it's like, yeah, again, Justin Field had the young boy there, and to me, I would have went one more go around with Justin Field. I really would have, but it just seems like they don't do enough. They don't build. They just tinker toy, and when you do that and you experiment, you always going to get like an experiment result. An experiment result is always it'll last for a little while, but somewhere down the line, it's not going to sustain. It's always going to break down. It's always going to go haywire because it's like I'm using a couple of what if guys. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm putting them all together, and then I'm hoping for the best of it. Just I don't want to do no comparisons or analogies, but that's really my assessment of them.
Let me read this from this here. Kadra broke my heart. You want to replace the only black man in football with job security. Oh my. Y'all know, first of all, don't take my oh my. I always say oh my. Okay, that's the first thing this year. Okay, let's get that out the way. But for me, I try to call it like I see it, y'all. I don't go by like somebody being black, somebody being white, Asian, purple. I really don't. And I'm not saying that. Let me be very, very clear. I am not saying that Mike Tomlin is not a great coach. I think he's a leader of men. I think that he has established a great culture there, and hopefully the next person can build on it. But what I'm looking at right now is a team who is very stagnant. They're not moving forward. They're not. And I'm not going to say it's solely on him, but they have tried different things. What they haven't tried is bringing in a new head coach. And sometimes you need different voice in the locker room. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you need a different voice, different place to hear a different voice. And I think at this point, like even for him, I don't think that I don't see him winning a Super Bowl there. Like the way it's going, I don't see them winning again anytime soon. Now, I mean, I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't know it all, but I just don't see it the way it's not building. It's not building. Like they just kind of just coast, like, okay, no losing season, another season. They get to the playoffs. It's like it's the same thing every single season. It's like on replay, like what is the next step forward? If they're going to keep Mike Tomlin, obviously, I think he has a lot of say, in that organization. Like then bring in a better offensive coordinator because I don't think Arthur's it. Like they got rid of Russell Wilson. They said he couldn't get along with him or whatever have you. Okay, fine. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. But even with Aaron Rodgers there now, the offense still don't look good. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Like make some trades, bring some different players in. They booted George Pickens up out of there. And he may be temperamental. I get his little attitude, but he's still super talented. Look at him in Dallas. That man catches all kind of different passes. I mean, he's really talented. You know what I mean? So DK is one person. He's one person, but it's obvious you need more. You paid all that money for the defense, and defense has been inconsistent. Some games they show up, some games they don't show up. Like I don't know what's going on, but it's not winning. That's what I do know.
I would say this: there are a couple organizations in football, like the Carolina Panthers, like the Atlanta Falcons, like the New Orleans Saints. You talking about a playoff win? They would just love to get to the playoffs. Like it's a lot. Arizona Cardinals. It's a lot of teams out there who would just love to. Hell, Dallas haven't won a playoff game, and I don't remember how long. So it's like, well,
we can't do that.
Tom Brady his last out. But my whole point is, there's a lot of teams who would just love to compete for a playoff opportunity. Then another thing is there are a lot of franchises, just like picking a franchise quarterback is an inexact science. When you find a good head coach, you keep that head coach because it's hard to find a good head coach. That's why you got so many franchises that continuously hire a guy, fire a guy, hire a guy, fire a guy, fire. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, and what I appreciate about Pittsburgh, again, they're going to let Mike Tomlin walk out whenever he's ready. They had Bill Cowher before him.
Mhm.
Bill Cowher went a long stretch of time before he won the Super Bowl. No, people
Yeah.
saying the same thing about Bill Cowher.
Mhm.
Shit,
That's
they let him go. Bill Cowher, he just wins. He doesn't win the Super. He can't win the big win.
Mhm.
And eventually, Bill Cowher won the Super Bowl. I saw Bill Belichick in New England. Tom Brady went on a 10-year stretch where they didn't win anything, and then they won the Super Bowl. Sometimes you just the main key in football is if I get to the playoffs, I have an opportunity to win. I need to get to the playoffs because you can get rid of Mike Tomlin. You can say, okay, let's start over. Let's bring a new guy in. And next thing you know, it's 10 years before you even get to the playoffs. So, no, I would really hate if the Pittsburgh Steelers, which they're not going to do, they're not going to move off of him. Mike Tomlin will leave whenever he's ready to leave. But I think right now, he's the best option they got. I mean, unless you're gonna, I don't know who you're gonna go get to replace him. You got to give me his replacement before I can even think about replacing Mike Tomlin. He's just too good of a coach. If they somehow just, let's just say hypothetically, they let him go, some team will pay him the most highest. He'll be the highest paid head coach tomorrow at some other franchise because he's that good.
And I never said he wasn't.
If he's
and
that good,
he should get paid.
You don't let him go if he's that good. You just don't do it.
I'm not going to keep the same coach if we're not winning after a certain period of time. And you don't have to have a revolving door of coaches. I'm not saying you got to change a coach every single season, every 2 years. You know what I mean? It doesn't work out because it does take time to build a winning culture. It takes time, to get the team that you want, build the roster that you want. I understand that, but it has been a while. Like, we're not talking about like something that just happened like 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5. Like, it's been about a decade now. You know what I mean? So, and the teams and the talent is only growing. I don't see them growing. I don't see them building. That's also what's concerning to me as well. You know, it's a few things. And like I said, if he goes someplace, if they do let him go, like if it happens, like it happens. Should he get paid? Absolutely. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. So he's still a great coach, yes. But just because you're a great coach doesn't mean that sometimes you need a change. And that's okay. Like sometimes you just need a change in life. It doesn't mean there's anything bad that happened per se. Sometimes it's just time to move on. And we need to like normalize that. Like, stop staying someplace because you're afraid to let know of what's going to be behind door number 2, whatever have you. Sometimes you need to walk door number 2. And it might be better on the opposite side for you. It could be better on the opposite side for him. At the same time, it doesn't mean that, like it has to be a lose-lose situation. And I can't compare other teams like who will be grateful to get to the playoffs because that's their organization. Mike Tomlin's in a different place. I can't compare Pittsburgh to Arizona. I can't do that. I mean, Arizona is a whole different situation. So for them, getting to the playoffs or being able to win a playoff game is different than Mike Tomlin because that's what he always does. At what point do you move to the next step?
Well, a solution would be if Khan, the general manager, if he just said, you know what, I'm gonna give power to my offensive coordinator and let him handle that. Tomlin, I need you to, reduce your authority, reduce the authority over some things, a little bit, because you have to do something different sometime in order to win. You just can't leave things like they are and expect that, we just gonna hope for the best. We just gonna keep hoping for the best. I'm like, come on, man. Like how long is that really gonna last? So, even though that's why I say I love Tomlin, but he lacks that thing offensively. You know what I mean? We seen it. It's the same thing with Belichick. When his coordinators left, different ones left, and how he's a defensive guy. He gives them a little bit of rope to do their thing, and you have to. And I don't see that in Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin doesn't call plays. The offensive coordinator calls the plays.
Listen, I understand that the offense I understand that the coordinator calls the plays, but I'm talking about what he allows. Listen, I don't know if you have kids. You have kids. What you do is, I can put three different candy bars in front of their face. Say you choose, but I really made the choice because I gave them the 3. There's 100 candy bars back here, but I'm gonna pick 3 and put them in front of you. So basically, I don't think Mike Tomlin allows them to really explore, open things up. Really, why do you think that you see the same pattern with things when it comes to him and his wide receivers? See, he'll have a flashy one that he likes every once in a while, but it never grows. It never really expands. It's sort of like one dimensional. It's like it's either vertical or cross route guys, and it's like it's nothing else after that. So when I look at that, I know that he has to be the common denominator because he's the only Negro who's still standing there. Everybody else gone.
He's had some of the most dynamic wide receivers in the game. The game has ever seen.
I understand that, but
they're still not winning.
I say either a vertical guy or a cross route guy, and that's fine. But guess what? I'm not seeing. Listen, I can have AD all I want to, but if I'm not doing anything to maximize that, to make it where I can mix it up and make it so I can go to the next level. Everything still looks the same. Even though, okay, AD's going, you get somebody else in to do the same thing again. And it's like you get another great wide receiver, and it's like you play with it, and then it goes on. So I know that his handprint is behind that. There's no way in the world that an offensive coordinator is going to come in and do the same thing over and over and over again without trying to mix it out without somebody hand being up their back.
When they had Ben Roethlisberger, they had the most prolific offense in all of football. I don't understand. They would score more points than anybody.
But that was way back when. We talking about 2025, 2026.
And they haven't had a quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger.
So again, who does that fall on?
That falls on the general manager.
Mike Tomlin also has some say in there. He's respected up in that organization.
Yes, he has some say, but the general manager at the end of the day makes personnel decisions.
I guarantee you,
Bill Belichick was the general manager and head coach. Bill Parcells was the general manager and head coach. They picked the groceries and they did the cooking. A lot of franchises, most franchises don't operate like that. They have a general manager whose job is to pick the players. Yes, the coach always going to have them say so in it, like a guy like Andy Reid. He's respected. He's been around a long time. He's going to have them say so. But I would compare Mike Tomlin to Andy Reid. Andy Reid had a long tenure with Philadelphia. He was the Philadelphia Eagles head coach. They kept getting to the NFC Championship game. They went to a Super Bowl. They could never get over the hump. Eventually, Andy Reid got tired of hearing people like you all talk about he should be replaced because they're not winning a Super. So Andy Reid removed himself from Philadelphia. He said, "Okay, I'll remove myself. I'll go to Kansas City."
And look at how he's doing.
Yes,
look at that.
Right. So Mike Tomlin can easily do that. There's no doubt in my mind. But I don't understand getting rid of a guy who's arguably the best coach in football. That's what you try to get. You try to get the best. And if he's the best, then let me just...
It's not working. It's not working. They're in the same place they are every single season. Like that's like even in your career, like outside of your content creator, I don't know what you're doing, right? But let's say you want to rap, you want to sing. Like at some point, it has to move. If you're doing performances at small, like birthday parties, friends events or whatever have you, at some point you want to move on to venues. It could be small venues, you know what I mean, in your neighborhood. Then you want to get on the radio. There has to be steps. There should be like growth. I don't see any growth. Yeah, and like I said, and again, I'm not saying that he's a bad coach. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be paid. I'm not saying he should be blackballed from the NFL. I'm not saying any of those things. But sometimes, like, you just reach a certain point in a relationship where it's like time to separate. It doesn't make anybody wrong, anybody bad or whatever. Like, this is not a bash in Mike Tomlin session, you know what I mean? But I think that his way of coaching is a little bit antiquated as well. Like Tom, they're moving along just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you gotta kind of be willing to move and bend with the times. You know, like that's just the way it goes. There has to be growth. If you're not growing, then what are you doing if you're just staying in the same place?
One thing that
Yeah.
always transcends time is playing good defense.
But
And
the defense also has been kind of suspect. Last season towards the end, it was
last 2
suspect.
weeks. Yeah,
This
I mean,
season, it's up and down. I don't know
yes,
what
it's up and
defense is going to
down.
show up.
It's up and down. They got some guys who they have to get acclimated all the way right. But the last 2 weeks they've been they were good last night. They just can't. The offense was bogged down. They really couldn't get nothing going on offense.
And
Again,
he should have. Why would you be going for Aaron Rodgers? Like again, I know Aaron
because you had
Rodgers.
to have a quarterback.
Okay, but you didn't have to get that quarterback. Like
Who
I
else was out there?
understand who Aaron Rodgers is. I get, his resume. I get all those things. I get who he's been, but he's not that same QB anymore.
You're right.
Like,
That's why he's on a
not.
1-year
And they put
deal.
all their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket.
They put 1 year worth of eggs in Aaron Rodgers.
It was okay. So again, I'll keep saying I don't think it was a smart choice. Again, are you trying to win? If you put yourself in position to not have a losing season, but you don't put yourself in position to get better draft picks because of the winning season. So it's like, again, you're keeping yourself here.
So you want them to lose.
If you're not going to be able to bring the kind of players in that you want, and you're not going to bring in a better offensive coordinator, and you're going to keep Mike Tomlin, he doesn't want to leave, they don't want to let him leave, then how do we move forward? So something has to give. So what is it?
I'm like a lot of Pittsburgh fans. I don't, if I can help it, I don't ever want to see my team lose. I want to always see my team have a chance to win. If we go 10-7, 11-6, and we make the playoffs, I'd rather us make the playoffs and lose in the first round than win 3 or 4 games and be. I can't watch 17 weeks of just terrible football. Give me a chance.
But let me
be very, very clear.
I'm only a Pittsburgh fan because of Mike Tomlin.
Let me be very clear. Obviously, you would like to win, but you said a little while ago, like they have a winning record, like they get to the playoffs, so they don't really get a chance to get the top draft picks. So right. if you're not making the trades to build up the offensive line, to bring some more weapons on the offensive line, the defense is the highest paid the defense in the league. You know what I mean? And they've been inconsistent. We'll see if it continues to stay the way it has the past couple of weeks. But I wouldn't bet on it. I really wouldn't. But if you're going to stay here, like I'm not going to lose. But so then, like I keep saying, what is the goal? Like you haven't. Like how do you move forward? You keep saying how great Mike Tomlin is. Okay, fine. But what else? Like so then what do they do to actually move forward with this franchise? Because we can't keep staying. For me, if I'm an owner, I'm not going to stay in the same place for 2 more decades. I'm not going to do that. I'm not paying millions upon millions out to just stay here every single season. And Nasir, he said, Nadia, I feel you. We see the big picture. I don't think y'all do. I think y'all letting y'all bias and how y'all feel about Mike Tomlin as a person, kind of blind y'all. Because I keep asking, like, what's the goal here? What's the goal? How are you building? And I haven't heard an actual answer.
The goal is to eventually develop a quarterback that can lead you.
Eventually win. It's been years now. So what are we doing?
Quarterbacks don't fall out trees.
But what they're doing, the formula that they're doing is, however they're picking their quarterbacks out, like it's not working. Yeah. Something is not working, and we got to be honest about that. Something is seriously not working. It's not good enough. It's just not.
Remember,
go ahead.
Had to move on. Yeah, thank you. The Eagles had to move on from Andy Reid at one time. They had to say, you know what, we got to move on. I know they went to the Super Bowl with Don, and then they kind of made the conference championship a couple consecutive years. They did a lot of great things, but they couldn't do the one thing that they needed to do, and that was to win that Super Bowl. And after a while, you have to make a determination, like what am I going to do? And we see how Andy Reid rebounded, and now he's the man. You know what I mean? He has a statue before he even before he even finished. So my whole thing is just that with Mike Tomlin, even though he got that chip, but let's be real, he got that chip off the cusp of the preceding coach that was there. So Pittsburgh had a good team. You know what I mean? He inherited a very good team. You know, Kyle, he actually retired while the team was still kind of flourishing, you know? So when I look at it, I can say, yes, he is a good defensive coach, but even with that, well, what has he really added in order for them to go to the next level? And so when I do that, once again, if you can't figure it out, you're no longer an asset, you're a liability. So I got to do a Donald Trump.
I feel you. I feel both of y'all. But again, Pittsburgh, the organization of the Steelers run, one of the reasons why I'm a supporter of the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they allow their coaches to coach until they don't want to coach there no more. They're not known for firing coaches, and I appreciate them that about them. Pittsburgh fans are different from Philly fans. Philly has some of the most belligerent fans in all the sport. They don't like nobody. They don't like nothing. They booed Santa Claus. They had a jail in the stadium because of how the fans, Pittsburgh fans aren't like that. And so Pittsburgh fans are more blue collar. They like to have things a certain way. And I'm okay with Mike Tomlin staying. I don't care if he ever wins another Super Bowl, ever. I like Mike Tomlin to be there until he wants to leave. And that's the way Pittsburgh has always done it. That's why they have 3 head coaches in the history of their franchise. If they fired Mike Tomlin, it would be the first time they've ever fired a head coach. And so when Mike Tomlin is ready to leave, when he says, okay, I've had enough, I've done all I can do, then I'm with Mike Tomlin. Let's move forward. Let's go somewhere else. But until then, I'm sticking with Mike Tomlin. My loyalty is with Mike Tomlin.
That's all fun. That's cute. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're talking about winning. If I'm an owner, I'm not just paying out millions to just stay here. I gotta see some growth. So if we're going to keep the same head coach, then there needs to be other assets brought in. We got to find a way to define a QB. We have to do something different. You can't do the same thing over and over, expect to have a different result. That's for any of us in life, even off the football field. If what you're doing is not working, what relationship is not working, you've gone to marriage counseling, you tried going on vacations, you tried having, date nights, whatever it is. If it's not working, like you can't communicate, you know what I mean? Like, stop it. Like, if it's not working, like it is not working. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, you are awesome, I'm awesome too, but we're not awesome together. At least not anymore. Like, we've run our course, and that happens in life. Sometimes you freaking run your course. And like I said, it depends. Like I said, I'm not the owner. If I was, I'll have to make some really hard decisions because I got to see some growth here. Like, I can't just stay here because I respect you and I really, really like you. And I think you're this awesome person, but I also have to see growth. Like, I'm not just paying you because I really care about you. I love you as a person. Like, I want to see some growth here within my organization. So if we can't figure it out, we got to do something.
At the end of the day, it is working. They're winning. They're making playoff
appearances. It's not working. It's not working.
The fans haven't given up. They still sell out the stadium. And
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about actually winning football.
Traveling fans in all of the country. Fans travel well. Their fans in Green Bay, fans are the best set of fans. Look, at the end of the day,
the day gonna end.
At the end of the day, as long as the fans are happy, and as long as the owner is happy, and as long as the bottom line is the bottom line.
But what is the bottom line? He always says the standard is the standard. What is the bottom line? What is that standard? We're going to get to the playoffs and then go home. If that's what the goal is and everybody's fine with that, and like ownership is fine with that, then that's their business. I don't think it's smart. I'm not paying out millions to just get here and then be booted out year after year. I'm not wasting millions. That I'm not going to do. Hold on, let me read this.
You're wasting millions, though.
I said I wouldn't if I'm an owner.
I'm saying, but owners who do that, follow your logic, waste millions of dollars because they end up paying coaches who are not coaching on their sideline because they're trying to find another coach.
And sometimes it works out for them for the
And
best.
most of the times it
Sometimes
doesn't
it
work out.
don't. But you don't know if you stay complacent because you're afraid of that it might not work. That's just my philosophy. I'm not going to just stay someplace because I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I don't move. I'm not going to do that. Life is too short. Nasir said, let's keep it a buck, Haja. Is upset Shador, and Shador is spelled wrong, by the way, wasn't getting drafted by Steelers like a conservative team in the city want Mr. Goldchain and Diamonds. Why do we keep talking about Shador? We haven't. This is the second time you brought Shador up this year. I don't know what's going on with you, my guy. Like, we have said nothing about Shador
Right.
just yet. This is the second time you brought that young man up. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what's going on. I wasn't even thinking about Shador, honestly, going to Pittsburgh. They had opportunities to draft him. They chose not to, and that's their choice. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, we're not talking about Shador right now. But on the flip side of it, though, let's get to the the Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna let you go first, Brother D. Do you think
Sure.
that Kevin Stefanski, at the end of the season or even mid-season, like right now, you think it's his tenure in Cleveland should be up? And be fair. Should all Shador stuff aside.
All Shador stuff aside, yes, he should be up. Because this is why you drafted a quarterback. I'm not talking about Shador, who
Talking about Dylan Gabriel?
who cannot see over his linemen. He has to do a 10-step.
Stop it.
And no, seriously. And see, I know we're clowning. All right, you know, little
He's not that small, is he?
No, he is small. He's a small dude. And when you got some 6'2", 6'3" linebackers coming in, I'm serious, and they're flying at you. Yo, what do you think that's going to do to him? Once your mind, like you're trying to comprehend and saying, well, basically, I'm gonna try to drop back and get this ball off. He doesn't have the speed. He doesn't. To me, he doesn't move well enough laterally for him to really be that effective. And we're starting to see that his balls look like duds. You know what I mean? If I can say that, praise the Lord. But but seriously though,
oh gosh,
it is. And I'm serious. When I seen, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me when I seen Aaron Rodgers was throwing a couple. I was like, oh my God, look at this ball. It's not going to make it. It's not enough velocity. It's not going to get there. The timing, it's going to throw timing routes off. I just see, when I see that young man and I'm looking at the coach, I'm saying, and he gets in front of the camera every week. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. Yeah, I'm good with it. It's when you hear stuff like that, you know that you're inept and you're not willing to do anything to make things better. So, because I'm like a hatchet man. I'm like, look, if you're not going to make it better, dude, if you're not going to put things in place so the team can progress, then what are we really doing? Because if you traded Flacco, say, okay, we're gonna get rid of Flacco, even though we know Flacco can throw the ball better than probably everyone on the team. All right, I'll leave it alone. But
he can throw the ball really well. I mean, you know, he's older, but he can still throw the ball.
Yeah,
he's there. Yeah,
throw the ball. But my whole point is just that when I see you do things like that, I'm like, what are you really doing? Are you really trying to prove a point so much where you're trying to make this young man, you're trying to humble one quarterback, I'm not gonna say his name, and you're trying to exalt another, so you're gonna make it so that you're playing this guy? Because that's all we see when I look at this. And for you to get in front of the camera every week and say, oh no, this is what we're going to do, this is where we're going, you know, this is our best possibility. And I'm saying, really? So you're going to waste these people's career year after year? You're going to let these people, these wideouts, these linemen, you're going to let all these players get older and older and older based on what? Humbling one quarterback to exalt another? Based on what? A hypothesis? Come on now. So if I rated him, yeah, he should get fired. You know what? Him and the Giants coach right now should be going on vacation together right now. They should be they should be
heading to Cancun.
Yeah, hand to Cancun, do anything, book flights, go where they have to go. I just don't believe in. I just don't like foolishness. You know what I mean? I know I play around a lot, but I really don't. I'm like, why do we put up with that? Why do we put up with that? And I can't make head or tail of it. At least with Tomlin, when you're saying about Tomlin, at least Tomlin's, have some, he has a track record. At least he has, defense that's, that makes strides. But these guys, this guy, he hasn't added anything to his team, and his team is failing all because he wanted to place everything on the back of a rookie quarterback who's too small to play quarterback, just like Kyler Murray is. I'm sorry. It's what it is.
Go ahead, Nani. I know you're ready to go. Go ahead. Go ahead, get him.
It's just funny. It's like a narrative that the media has created instead of people actually watching the games. Like Dylan Gabriel isn't the reason they winning games, but he's not the reason they losing games.
Okay.
I'm okay with Stefanski if they came out here tomorrow and say the Cleveland Browns have decided to fire Kevin Stefanski. I would get it. I would understand. The team is not good. Too many penalties. Like you said, you either condoning it or you coaching it. It's too many penalties. You look at yesterday, they spotted the Jets 14 points off a kickoff return, and then the very next possession, a punt return for a touchdown. That's 14 points right there. Then Gabriel down 10 points, brings him back. You talking about he's not mobile. He shows some real speed. He ran all the way down the field, put them in scoring range. They kicked the field goal. Then they got on defense. The defense played good, got the Jets to 4th down. You know that the Jets are not going to hike the ball. And the freaking defensive lineman jumps offside on 4th and 8. 4th and 5 to get them an automatic first down, which ended the game. That had nothing to do with Dylan Gabriel. That got to do with everything outside of Dylan Gabriel. The offensive line isn't that good. You see Joe Flacco, when he was with Cleveland, he looked like a bum outside of the first game. But he goes to Cincinnati, he's throwing 450 yards a game. Why is that? Because Cincinnati has real wide receivers. Jerry Jeudy is not good. If he's your number one wide receiver, you have a problem. Cedric Tillman been hurt all year. He just came back yesterday. His best 2 receivers are tight ends. That's why he continues to throw to Njoku and Fannin. They say, Dylan Gabriel can't throw the ball down the field. Well, he threw the ball down the field yesterday for a touchdown.
But isn't that
not open?
That's coaching problem.
Hold on. Let him finish. Go ahead. At the end of
the day, they interviewed the center earlier today. They asked him about the quarterback. He was like, I like Dylan. He's developing. He's getting better. He does what the coaching staff asked him to do. All they asking him to do.
What's he supposed to say? I don't like him. I think he's trash.
I'm saying all that he can say that he's making mistakes. He got to get better.
If he's professional, he's not going to say that.
Well, what I'm saying is, all Dylan Gabriel is doing what the coaching staff asked him to do, which is not turn the ball over. If you don't turn the ball over, our defense is good enough that we should be able to win some games and stay in the games. Give us a chance to win. That's all that's all you can ask any rookie quarterback to do. I've never seen a rookie quarterback come in and they say, okay, you're a rookie quarterback. We need you to go out here and win these games. No, you ask them to. I can tell you rookie quarterbacks that Dylan Gabriel is playing better than, and nobody wants to talk about. He's playing better than Michael Penix. He's playing better than number 1 pick in the draft, Cam Ward. He's playing better than Cam Ward. He's playing better than J.J. McCarthy. But the problem is these guys don't have a hot stove sitting behind them named Shedeur Sanders, which is why my whole point is the Browns did themselves a disservice when they drafted Shedeur. They should have never drafted him if you were going to draft another quarterback in the 3rd round who you knew if you got to him, you were going to have to develop him because he's not a ready-made product. And if you're going to develop Dylan Gabriel, you're going to have to let him play the bulk of the season. If you put him right now, you're going to give Shedeur the last 7-8 games of the year. Well, that's going to be more time than your third-round pick guy. That's not going to be fair to Dylan Gabriel. So even though I like Shedeur, I want to see Shedeur. I really don't want to see him with the Cleveland Browns because I know what a dumpster fire the Cleveland Browns are. I know if you put Shedeur Sanders behind that same offensive line that Dylan Gabriel working with those same wide receivers that he's working with, he's going to look bad, and then you're going to have his naysayers come out and say, see, I told you he couldn't play, and that's unfair to Shedeur too. So go ahead and let Dylan Gabriel develop. I agree with Stefanski on that part, but when it comes to the penalties that they're making, when it comes to the special team problems that they've had all season, that's why I say, okay, that's coaching. And if they want to fire him because of those things, I'm okay with it. But I agree with him sticking with Dylan because that's the only way that you can be fair to that young man. And I just want him to be fair.
I'm gonna play this sound real quick before I go. I'm gonna play this sound real quick before I go. Hold on.
Jimmy Haslam said during training camp that you knew that seeing both young quarterbacks at some point this season was important. So just where is Shedeur at as far as his development, and do you have a timetable of when you would take a look at him?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to speculate, Daryl. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dylan is certainly committing to improving every which way he can, and all the while, all of our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that they're getting better on a daily basis.
All right, can we just keep it a buck all the way? Let's just keep it a buck. I feel like because Kevin Stefanski wants Dylan Gabriel to succeed, and obviously he drafted him, like that was his pick, so I understand that. Even if I don't agree with it, I understand it. I feel like he's hurting the team. I don't think he's helping the team. Now, their record is 2-7. So you can sit here and tell us that, what we're working on, the offensive line, doing this and doing that. It don't look like it. Like, we all got eyes that we can see. And the record is the record. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to pretend, like they're making some sort of progress, because they're not. They, in spite of that great defense, like we all know is going to keep them in games, like they're still not making any progress, in my humble opinion, on the offensive side. And for me, I'm like, you have all these draft picks. I'm starting to wonder, are you doing this on purpose? And you're saying, no, we want to see Dylan succeed. Are you doing this on purpose so that you can get more picks, you know what I mean, in this upcoming draft, and then bring an entirely new QB coming up in next year? Because as I watched Kevin Stefanski a few seasons ago, did he not put up 4 or 5 QBs in that season to like help them win? I mean, he went to this one, to that one, to this one. And this season, you're held on staying with one. And I'm not saying that Dylan Gabriel is the most awful, rookie QB I've ever seen. And to your point, you're absolutely right. He is playing better than Cam Moore. Cam Moore, to me, like I said, I didn't think he was number one, in my opinion, as well. Looking at the history coming out of college, I don't think he should have been number one overall. One of the conversation. But the fact of the matter is, it's the unwillingness to try to see if there is a sort of spark. Like, whether or not Brian Daboll should have put Jackson Dart in when he did, the fact is that when he did, there was an entire spark within that Giants team on the defensive side and the offensive side. Now, they're not winning a whole bunch of games, but they are playing better, and they're rallying behind that young man. The fans are excited, and more importantly, the team, seems to be happier. And I love me some Russell Wilson, so I feel bad saying this. But the team seems to be happier with him as a starting QB. It was a whole new breath of fresh air and life that came within that team once he was named the starting QB. So try it at the very least. Like, I don't think that, even if Shedeur doesn't play for them at all, I don't think that Dylan Gabriel is a franchise QB. I don't. And if you're not going to bring in stronger, better offensive weapons, this is what you're going to do, it's what you're going to keep, I don't think he's enough to help you guys win games, in spite of how great that defense is. And you're losing. So why not find out if one of the two can be your future? Dylan has had a lot of reps with the ones, like he's had a lot of time. And going back, to preseason training, all these different things, like he's had a lot of time. And no, Shador hasn't really had any time, any reps. I get it, 5th round pick, and so on and so. I understand the politics behind it, but for someone who played numerous QBs in previous seasons, so that they could stay, and at least try to be competitive. This season, you're not willing to try at all. Like, why not? Why
Because
not?
those guys were veteran quarterbacks that he was just throwing in there.
But
Those
it was
guys
the
were
willingness to
already
try, though. He's not
those
even
guys
willing
was
to
already
try.
second and third string guys that you knew you weren't gonna win with, but you had to put a quarterback out there. Deshaun Watson was the guy. He was the guy last year. He got hurt. He tore his Achilles. I was watching that game. It was ugly. Once Deshaun Watson went out, they just was throwing Jameis Winston in there. They threw Dorian Thompson in there. They were just throwing guys in there. At the end of the day, and Brother D, you can probably tell, you can attest to this because you're older than us, and you probably watch a whole lot of more football. No, I'm just saying, you look good, but I'm just saying.
I'm better looking at all y'all. And
you
go
probably
ahead.
you probably watch a whole lot of
What's up, big
football.
dog?
In all my years of watching football, I've never seen a situation where an organization drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks to compete for a starting job. Never in my life have I seen it.
Washington did when they did.
No, Washington drafted RG3 in the first round. They drafted Kirk Cousins, but there was no competition. The job was going to be RG3's. RG3 started. He won Rookie of the Year. And when RG3 started having injuries and his play went all the way downhill, that's when they put Kirk Cousins in there. And Kirk Cousins played well, and Kirk Cousins kept the job. But they didn't say, okay, coming into training camp, year 1, Kirk Cousins, you're going to compete with RG3 for the starting job. It wasn't like that. RG3 was going to start. That was just how it was going to be.
But why do we keep talking about what they did in the draft? Because it's already done. Like, we can't go back and redo it, and it may have been a boneheaded decision. But the reality of it is that, like, you're not winning games.
Well,
so
my whole point is don't make 2 boneheaded decisions. Like, first of all, you shouldn't have drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks, and now you're asking. Well, they're not asking for them to compete. The fans, the people on the outside who are not in the organizations, wants them to allow Shador to compete with Dylan Gabriel. The people in-house are saying, we drafted Dylan Gabriel. Okay, we're going to develop him. We're going to give him every. Yeah, we drafted both, but we drafted one in the 3rd round. We drafted one in the 5th round. We're going to give Dylan Gabriel every opportunity to succeed that
and
we can.
He has going back to the preseason.
And when he falls
off the training camp.
But Dylan Gabriel hasn't shown a lack of confidence, and his play hasn't fallen off the cliff. He's not playing awful. Like if he showed lack of confidence, or he just showed that, oh man, he's throwing 3-4 interceptions every game, he's getting sacked 8 times a game every game, then I'll be like, okay, he can't play. But he hasn't shown that. He's very gradually he's improving every week. I saw some things this week that he improved upon that he didn't do as good last week. That's the journey of a young rookie quarterback. He has to have the fair time to develop as any other rookie quarterback. So I'm giving Dylan Gabriel, I'm with Stefanski. I'm giving Dylan Gabriel a long leash until now. If it's 3-4 games left in the season and you want to throw Shador in there, fine, throw Shador in there. It doesn't matter, but you're not
don't
doing
just
Shador.
throw him in there. Don't throw him in there for the sake of throwing him in there.
Right,
Like, don't do that.
favor. I'm saying, but they threw him in next week. They're just throwing him in. Like, you're not doing Shador a favor by playing him. I would prefer me, because I know the dumpster fire that Cleveland is. As much as I want to see Shador play, I don't want to see him play in Cleveland. That's a mess. He had little to no chance to succeed in Cleveland with the way that the roster is set up. He has little to no chance. Let Dylan Gabriel take that beating.
Yeah, but weren't we talking about whether or not to get rid of the coach? So
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with getting rid of Stefanski though, because of all the other things I said. The special teams hasn't been good. They've been having too many penalties, especially at the wrong time. The offensive line hasn't been too good. Yeah, so if you want to get rid of him because of those things, I agree. To get rid of him because he's trying to develop a young quarterback, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't like the way he's coaching. It's not because of Shador. Let me be very, very clear. It's not because of Shador. If they had somebody, if they had Cam Ward sitting behind Dylan Gabriel, I would say the same thing. Like it's not working. No, he's not the most awful rookie I've ever seen, and I'm not saying that he can't improve and get better. But I'm not sure that I see with Jackson Dart. I'm very clear that that's the future of that franchise, even with them not winning games. Like I'm very, very clear that they found their starting QB. I don't see that when I see Dylan Gabriel on the field. I just don't. It's not because he's small, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I call him, I call him Little Dylan. But all jokes aside, like it's not because of his height. I just don't see a franchise QB. I don't see when I look at him. And there are other QBs I see. Like I'm very clear. Okay, that's a franchise QB. They found the future of their franchise there. I don't see that when I look at him. And for me, I'm like, so I'm not even sure if they're sold on it. Honestly speaking, I really don't think that they are. But you have the opportunity because you have a losing record, right? To get more draft picks, and they already have a whole bunch of draft picks already. So for me, if even with Shador not being there, is Cam Ward behind, is Michael Penix, is Caleb Williams, whoever it is behind, Dylan Gabriel. Do I have my franchise QB, or do I need to go ahead and get another QB? Do I need to go ahead and bring in some more wide receivers, running backs, so on and so forth? Like that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm looking at all of that. If I'm GM, ownership, anybody who's a part of that conversation in terms of moving that franchise forward, because they haven't really been winning. And if you're not going to, you have Shador there, but you're not going to at least give him a chance to see if possibly you have your starting your franchise QB. I said a long time ago they should have got rid of him, because what are you keeping him there for?
Don't nobody want him.
You don't know that though. That's your opinion.
But we don't know that somebody do.
And again, but why would?
Clearly nobody want him, because
let's be fair though. If you're not going to give him a chance to play, then who's going to be trading for him, right? If I don't even know what he looks like outside of the preseason game, I'm taking a chance on him because I might like him. I might like him as a person, or I might look at what I saw from college, or I might think that he's better. But like I said, I don't see a franchise QB. Maybe you do, and that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But I don't see it.
I don't know. I'm saying it's so hard to know in year one whether or not you have a franchise QB or not. It takes time. So with that being said,
we know Jackson Dart is a franchise QB that hasn't been a full year.
He might be, but hell, he done got 4 concussions in the last 3 weeks.
And like I said before, they were. I said that was going to happen.
Right. So he might not be a franchise guy. If he can't stay durable.
I said it was going to happen because of how they were using him. I've been said that.
I'll say this. I like Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is the real deal. He hasn't played well. It hasn't looked good, but I know that he doesn't have any weapons around him in Tennessee. The offensive line isn't any good in Tennessee. I give him grace because I understand what he's working with. But I look at the film, I say he got the goods. They just got to put things around him. Let's just say Tennessee drafted Cam Ward with the first pick, and in the 5th round, they drafted Shador. They're not going to Shador to see what he got. They're going to stick with Cam Ward, because they know they have to develop Cam Ward and give him an opportunity to learn and to do.
He's number 1 overall pick. We're not talking about him in the 3rd round or 4th round.
Yeah, I'm saying
the comparison's not the same.
Okay, I'll give you that. But my whole point is you're gonna have to develop your guy. We're gonna find out the truth in Cleveland one of these days, and maybe soon, maybe it'll be a year or two. Whose responsibility was it in taking Shador Sanders? And whose responsibility was it to take Dylan Gabriel? And that's going to let us know why this story is unfolding the way it is. But until then, I'm just one of those people that I want Dylan Gabriel. One of those quarterbacks need to get a fair opportunity. Both of them are not going to get a fair opportunity. So if I drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, go ahead and develop him. I understand that reasoning behind it. I think Shador is better than Dylan Gabriel. I'll go on record and say that I do. But they drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. I understand why they want to stick with him.
Wow. But let me ask you, but yeah, my thing with when it comes to the coach, and it comes to the reason why I would have to hang the coach when it comes to Dylan Gabriel is because basically do I really see? I'm talking about this. Just look across the landscape of the NFL. Do I really see Dylan Gabriel being successful after he get popped a couple of times? Do I really believe in my heart of hearts? Because right now he's dealing with in-house stuff. He get to juggle the, oh, we're gonna play Shador, we're not, and it's all fun and games right now. But let time go on, and all of a sudden we got rid of Shador. Do I really believe that he's the one? See, right now all they're doing is just playing the game, because we all know that is nothing but good old fashioned colonialism, and they set Shador up. The whole league, they colluded. That's what they do. That's what a lot of white folks do. But I know you can't. I know how y'all roll. But anyway, but
That's funny.
But that's what they do. I mean, anyway.
No, that's not what they do.
That's what they do. We've never seen anything like this, where you draft a guy and you let him fall to the 5th round. You get a general manager's son call you and they're clowning him. All these little things are happening, and you're going to say to me that, oh well, no one colluded. Well, look what happened with the former coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
He had a what kind of suit against the NFL?
Yeah, he had a suit because they wanted him to lose games on purpose. And he spoke out about it. He said he wasn't getting treated fairly because they didn't want to do nothing he wanted to do. They wanted to do what they wanted to do, which the owner has every right to do what they want to do. That's why they own the football team.
Yeah, but the NFL is the only place they can get away with such things like that, and no one calls them on the carpet or puts them in jail for it. But yeah, we see it in the NBA, right?
Yeah, we saw Mark Jackson is never gonna get a head coaching job ever again.
Who you say again?
Mark Jackson would never ever coach another NBA team ever again.
Mark Jackson, for what? Well, what did he do?
Because he spoke out when he was with the Golden State Warriors. He's a real religious man. The Golden State Warriors owner has a gay son, and they didn't like the type of rhetoric that Mark Jackson was speaking. They blackballed him from the game. He'll never coach again. And he's a great coach, and he still have a head coaching job. That's collusion when they get you out the game.
So
if they colluded against Shador, he wouldn't even be in the league.
So
Kaepernick
you don't think that
got colluded against. Kaepernick will never play another down in the NFL.
And why?
As far as he can live.
Why isn't Kaepernick?
Because they colluded to get him out the game. They blackballed Colin Kaepernick. They did not blackball Shador.
They didn't blackball Shador?
No, that's why he's on the NFL roster getting paid money.
Nadi, why did Shador think he was going to Cleveland? Why? Why did he think that?
What do you mean?
Why do you think
he didn't think? He thought he was going to New York initially. That's where he wanted to go.
He knew he was going to Cleveland. The only place he wanted to go was Cleveland. That's where he wanted to go.
Cleveland. Well, he in Cleveland. So he should be happy. He in Cleveland.
Nadi, what is the probability? Right? Possibility. What is the possibility of him ending up 5th round at that franchise? Right?
Because are you gonna factor in that he turned down 3 other teams that wanted to draft him?
Well,
we factor that in too. That's part of your collusion argument. The fact that he could already been starting 4 games if he just would have went to Baltimore when they asked him, when they told him they were ready to draft him.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, I'm saying you can't talk collusion if he's turning down teams. We can't talk collusion.
And that was also in the 5th round. They weren't trying to draft him in the first, second round. That makes a difference, though.
Collusion has nothing to do with his decision. Collusion has everything to do with their decision. Their decision is saying basically, hey, but listen, but see, understand this. This is what people do in order to make things look a certain way. They offer you things and say, oh, well, look, watch this. I'm going to give you a prime example. Remember when it came down to Kaepernick, they said, hey, Kaepernick, yeah, we want to give you a fair opportunity, but we want to test you out, but nobody can come. Nobody from media can come and watch you practice. in order to
Right.
get back into the NFL. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather practice over this facility over here where everybody can see me. They was like, oh no, we only want to do it privately with only the owners and some coaches. Who does that? Who listens to rhetoric like that? Any black man worth their weight wouldn't listen to any stuff like that and act like it's cool. We all know how they do stuff. Anybody who ever worked in America know how they do stuff. We need to stop like we don't understand red
Does Colin
line.
Kaepernick play in the NFL?
They don't care.
I'm saying, does Colin Kaepernick play in the NFL?
No, he don't. But
okay, they colluded to get him out of the game. I think it's an embarrassment, and it's so unprofound to compare Shedeur Sanders to Colin Kaepernick. For what Colin Kaepernick did, Shedeur ain't on that level. I'm not ever gonna compare Shedeur Sanders to Colin Kaepernick. That's never gonna happen. I stopped watching football for a whole year, no Super Bowl, nothing, because I stood with Colin Kaepernick. Ain't nobody finna stop doing what they gonna do because of Shedeur Sanders, because it's not the same. Shedeur Sanders ain't out here fighting for freedom, fight for cops killing young black women and children. It's not the same. So let's not put the same.
I'm not mentioning. But I'm not mentioning the plight of Shedeur Sanders. What I'm talking about is, well, we're not even talking about what because Shedeur didn't do anything. We all know that.
So he didn't get colluded again.
But they all know that they didn't want Shedeur in there because why? Because his daddy has enough money and enough connection to make enough noise.
A lot of people who play football, daddies got money, and they second generation children, and they playing in the NFL. That has nothing to do with it.
A lot of black males in football are tools. Let's put it where it is. A lot of those cats are nothing but tools, and you know they are.
They all the tools.
All you got to do is ask them a question.
All the tools. Every football player, black, white, Mexican, or other, they're all tools.
Huh?
Hold on, y'all. Let me read some. Hold on.
You had a Rainbow Coalition. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me read some of these comments because they're kind of some of them are backing up. Let me go. Remember, everybody was ready to call Caleb Williams a bust, but he only required a coach to speak his language. Same for Cam Ward. We shall see. Shedeur was not all that, man. I think he's talking about when he was in college, like he was not all that big dog. Kaepernick blackballed himself. Okay. And Nasir and Shedeur didn't attend NFL Combine, wore headphones during John's interview, and wearing a house around his neck. What else? We can't use the race card when number one pick is black. Hold up. After Deion Sanders didn't say he's not going to allow his son to play on certain teams, them owners, coaches, and GMs ain't got time for that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. But as I said, anyone who's ever worked in America all know what time it is. We all know. Just like the radio station that I work for, they did the same thing to me. Trust me. Try to railroad, take money, reapply, put it in different places. We got to stop acting like we don't see what's playing and what's on the wall. So when I see Shedeur, when I see Deion Sanders stand up, they say, look, if Deion Sanders do this, that means that the rest of these Negroes going to do it. We got to put him on the whipping post. And we got to make sure that everyone knows. We got to make sure that everyone knows that when we finish whipping him, that they're not going to repeat and do the same thing. They're not going to get to call their same their own where I get to go and what I get to do. It's all about. It's always been about power, and it's still.
I hate
about
when
power.
we water down the race card that way. Race cards should be used when we need it to be
power
used.
Power is a real thing, though. Power is
yes, we're not saying that, but to say that somebody's
hold on, one person at a time.
It's about human rights. We all have inalienable rights. It's about human rights. And when you get to do something, but I don't get to do it, what do you call that?
So they took away Shedeur's human rights. Like, stop, man. This is too much.
Bro.
Like, you're watering down the race card.
Bro.
Deion is one of the most beloved figures in all of America. All these white folk love Deion. He got all the endorsements. He got a contract extension. He got relationship with all the NFL owners. Jerry Jones pivoted to help him get a contract extension with Colorado by bringing Deion in this offseason and saying, I'm interviewing Deion for a head coaching job, when he knew he wasn't interviewing Deion for a head coaching job, but he wanted to give Deion leverage to help him get an extension in Colorado. He did that. He got the Affleck commercials. He got all his kids in Colorado. So don't tell me they're being racist against Deion. That's so far from the truth. Let's stop watering down the race card and use it when we really need to use it, when we got to fight for our rights, and we got to fight for injustice. Not for no Shedeur Sanders.
I don't
they're
use
not being racist against Shedeur. Like, it don't make no sense. I just can't buy that.
So you named all those things, right? But at the end of the day, what happened to his son?
What you mean? His son is in the NFL, getting paid money. That's what happened to his son.
Money. It's not. Listen, bro. It's not even about.
He's in the league.
It's about power, dude. It's about power. Power. I can go and live where I want to. Don't you know? Right now in the state of Colorado, they have.
You don't have to play football.
Listen, bro. They have an all-white. They have an all-white community. Blacks can't live there at all. All-white community. And they say, oh, you guys can't live here. So when we start talking about rights,
what that got to do with Shedeur?
I'm showing you, it has.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Let's stay on the topic. What Shedeur and the Browns? I don't want to go like way off.
Okay. I'm not going way off. I'm coming back. My whole point is this: what they did to Shedeur was this. They said, okay, he wants to go where he wants to go, and he wants to play for who he wants to play for. If we allow that mindset to creep in to everyone else, we're going to be in big trouble. So we got to take him and put him on the whipping post, because if I can do that to Shedeur, what am I going to do to Lord Johnny in the ghetto? I can do anything I want to you. So I know you ain't going to try, because you just seen a multimillionaire get crushed in my hand. Why? Because he tried it. And his father's, you know what? His father, he's a big figure too. Yeah, his father's a big figure. But guess what? What happened to his father?
His father's rich because them white folks keep paying the money.
You keep saying rich. Stop worrying about money, man. You keep worrying about money.
His father is not being a victim of racism. His father is getting everything that the American dream
he's not.
Possibly give a man. What you mean?
Why is he complaining about his child then? Why was he upset about his child? Because he got everything.
Any parent who has a child.
No. Answer the question. Why was he upset? Why was he upset about his child?
Can I answer?
He got everything he wants?
I'm around. I've been around for a minute. Anytime you have a parent who has a child who plays sports and they don't feel like their child is in the position that they believe their child is in, they're all gonna complain. I don't care if you're white, black. It doesn't matter. My son played little league football, and I thought the coach should have played him more. I argued with the coach every damn practice. Play him more. That's just parenting. That's how parents are. That has nothing to do with somebody holding him back because he's black. No, that don't make no sense. I think
there are points that both you are making, but we also have to be honest. I'm not going to compare the Shedeur to Colin Kaepernick or any of the other stuff. Like, I'm just going to talk solely about Shedeur, and there is a valid point, because what we kept hearing was that Shedeur was coming into places arrogant. He came in, carrying himself a certain way, and his talent wasn't enough for him to carry himself like that.
Right.
So there is very much a world and a possibility, but it says, you know what? You need to be humbled, because we're not going to allow you to dictate where you want to go and move how you want to move and dress how you want to dress with headphones or whatever it is, and not take the league serious enough and kind of make a mockery of it in a sense, and then think you're still going to be drafted in the first round, top 3 or whatever have you. That is very much a real possibility. Like, we have to stop pretending that does not exist at all. And when it comes to power is very much a real thing. You look around the NFL, how many black owners do you see?
None.
Like there's not too many.
That's where the racism is at the top.
Okay, I'm just saying, my point is power is throughout the whole thing, not just at the ownership level. I'm just saying there's a reason why you see more of them at the top than you do see us. Like
Yes.
LeBron's been trying to get a team in Vegas for a while, and in spite of all his accomplishments and him being a billionaire or close enough to it, he still has not been able to get over that hump. You know what I mean? So they know good and well LeBron's powerful. You let him in here, let him in his owner circle. What can happen? They
Right.
do want to keep ownership, you know, and
Yes.
things within, you know, a certain bracket, and then that does
Right.
exist as well. As it pertains
Yes.
to Shador, though, like I said, I heard a lot of different things, but based on who his dad is and how he was raised, even how he leads his team as a coach, I don't believe that Shador, he might have come in with an arrogant attitude, you know, kind of full of himself. Maybe I
Right.
can get that. But I don't believe for one second he came in with these headphones. He came in with this 20 person entourage. He came in with music blasting, pants sagging. Like, I don't believe that. That I don't believe. And as
I
far as
haven't
him
heard
going to
that.
the Giants, I think he did think he was going to go there. I mean, he had these special cleats made and everything with the
Mm-hmm.
Giant color. I mean, the New York Giant color. So I think he did think he was going to go there. I think him and Jackson Dart also had dinner with the team a couple nights before. Both of them also like with the coaching staff. So maybe he really thought he had a chance. But going back to Shador specifically, because I'm looking at some of the comments in here, like, I don't think, and I'm going back to you, Nasir, because you put in Shador going with his dad and Shador dressed a certain way. I don't think how Shador dresses is bad. I see him coming to games plenty of time with regular sweats. I don't see his ass hanging out. I don't see his boxers when he comes through. So he may not have on, you know, a button down, you know, and some flat front chino pants, you know what I mean, or whatever have you. But I don't see where he dresses bad. Like I said, we don't say anything about when we see Jackson Dart with his jewels on around his neck and whatnot. We don't say anything about it at all. It's like, oh, look at the white boy. He got swag. He's cool. He's this, he's that. And I like Jackson Dart, so I'm not mad at it. But we got to stop picking and choosing. If we're going to be judging Shador, judge him for what you actually see and know. And we don't see a bad young man who carries himself in an awful way. But we do this what we've heard about how he presented himself in those interviews. But we were not there to actually see what happened. There's been no leaked footage. So we got to stop telling that young man to dress like this, do that. Like that needs to stop, you know, overall. He went to go see his dad. He also worked out. He also got treatment. I'm pretty sure he studied film. And even if he didn't go to his dad, Kevin Stefanski's mind is pretty much made up. He don't seem like he's going to move off of Dylan and then go to Shador at any point, anytime soon. And I don't think it's because Shador comes into practice with these big chains and he has baggy, you know, rapper, you know, appearance. Where you at? Where did Nadi go?
I don't know. He blacked his camera out, but then it disappeared. I'm not sure. Maybe it disconnected.
But what is your point though, Nasir? So what did they have? The whole locker room had loud rap music. I mean, they had rappers performing and whatnot in Boulder. So what? I mean, that was Dion bringing that in. You know, Snoop Dogg came, Lil Wayne came. So because they had rappers performing or blasting music in the locker room, that means what? What's it to do with Shador?
Well,
with any QB, even if it's not Shador, if it's Jackson Dart, if it's Cam Ward, if it's Michael Penix, if it's a freaking Bo Nix. So what if they're blasting music? So what? It's a locker room. You want them to play gospel?
So you think with
Nadi, where you at? Go ahead.
Do you think what black people do is what demonic and nasty and cursed and what? I mean, just make it plain. I'm good with it. I ain't gonna get offended. Just make it plain though. You know what I mean? Because when you say they're playing rap music, that's like saying, oh, you know, somebody came in and they pulled their pants down and they took a dump on the floor. I mean, what are you saying? Just make it plain.
Where's Nadi at? It's on Well Off Media, produced by his brother Bucky. Nadi, I don't see you in the green room. I don't know what green room you in. I don't.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me? I can't hear Katja though.
I was like, Brother D, had you leave? Where'd you go?
Nah.
We just talking. That's all it is.
I'm joking.
I made a mistake and hit the chord, but yeah, I mean, I hear you. But to your point, when you talk about LeBron and ownership, yes, there is racism, and it is at top when it comes to power. But the owners are the people that are in power at the end of the day. I think what we all fail to forget about Shador is he doesn't have undeniable talent. and because he doesn't have undeniable talent, he has to ace. He had to ace all the interviews. I don't know about all that entourage stuff, all the I didn't hear any of that. I really didn't. I heard that he didn't work the whiteboard really well in some of the interviews. I heard that he was a little bit arrogant in some of the interviews, things of that nature. And when you don't have undeniable talent, you have to ace all the interviews. Before the draft, we was looking at him as a first-round prospect. As we got closer to the draft, the rumblings were, nah, he's not going to be a first-round pick. He might go second round. He might be third round. And then you finally got to the draft, and you saw that every team passed up on him multiple times, even his mentor, Tom Brady. And they need a quarterback in Las Vegas right now because Geno Smith ain't getting it done. They could have had Shedeur sitting under Geno Smith. Tom Brady, who was picking the players and picking the quarterback, he didn't even take the guy. And that's a guy who he's supposed to be mentoring. Now, Baltimore wanted him. Shedeur turned them down. Philly wanted him. He turned them down. There's a third team, according to his father, that they also turned down. So it almost like he did end up going where he wanted to go, which Brother D said he wanted to go to Cleveland. Well, ta-da, you right there in Cleveland. I don't see what the racism, I'm going to teach him a lesson is in that. The lesson is sometimes just humble yourself. Go to Baltimore. You would have started 4 games by now. Balled out with Baltimore. Then some team would have traded Baltimore a first and a second round pick so that you can be the franchise quarterback, and we won't even be talking about Dylan.
I don't think we're being fair because the reality is at the time, like, he wanted to go someplace where he had a chance to compete to be a starting QB. There's nothing wrong with him wanting to go someplace where he has a chance to compete. Like, we all know, like, Lamar getting hurt obviously was unforeseen. You don't really know. Like, we know that Lamar is going to be the face of that franchise ongoing. Unless something god awful happens, like, he's going to be there. We know Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. He's not gonna jump ahead of either one of them. Now, if they get hurt, then he'll come in maybe for a game or two. In this case, Lamar was out for 4 games or whatever have you. Maybe he would have got a chance, to be the backup. Who knows? But at the time, he did not know. Okay,
don't know.
You know what I mean? Exactly. But he knew that he had a chance in Cleveland to at least compete.
He had a chance in Cleveland.
But that's what he wanted. That's what he
was
wanted.
wrong about that too.
And he was wrong, but I understand the logic behind the thinking. I don't think there's anything wrong with him wanting to go someplace where he had a chance, an opportunity to compete. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to penalize him for that.
The problem is he wanted to go off his own logic instead of going off the logic that the NFL has.
I have the same logic myself, and I'm not in the NFL. If I have a chance, and they're all in the 5th round, like, these are not from what I heard, like, these are not people or to say teams that wanted to take him in the 3rd or 2nd or 1st round, even the 4th. Like, this is all in the 5th round, all within like a number of like 2 numbers within each other. It was like 140, 141. Cleveland with 140. Like, it's not like like they want to take him way ahead. But for me, and I'm not even Shedeur, if I have a chance to go someplace else, well, I'm like, okay, I can go to the Ravens, and a great organization. Lamar is a great person to learn from. But I don't want to go someplace and be locked into being like the backup. I want to try to go someplace where I do at least have the chance to compete, and that's a fair assessment. There's nothing wrong with that.
Any team you go on, you have a chance to compete. That's the whole thing. The NFL is so illogical. You want to try to use logic in a sport that's very illogical. You never know in the NFL. An injury is one player away at all times. Okay, to his logic, I want to go somewhere where I can compete. I'm gonna go to Cleveland. Well, guess what? You're not getting the opportunity to compete in Cleveland either. I'd rather sit behind Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts than sit behind Dylan Gabriel.
And I get that's for you. If you were in Shedeur's position and you had to make the choice, you're gonna go there.
Wherever somebody wants me.
I understand. I get that. But for me, if I have the choice, and I know that I do believe that he must have felt that Cleveland was gonna take it. Something happened. I don't think that somebody tipped him off, somebody called, somebody said something, because if he honestly didn't think that he had any chance at all to go there, I don't see him passing on the Ravens and the Eagles unless he said, you know what, I'm just going to screw it all and try to go undrafted and see what happens with that. But I do believe that he got some sort of, I don't know, dad got a call, maybe a text, something gave him a little bit of just hold out, a couple more, numbers,
Right.
and then, go on ahead and go to Cleveland. You have a chance, there's an interest there to bring you. And I think he said, okay, I'm gonna try to just go to Cleveland, and see what happens. And I get it. Hold on real quick. Big Dog said every QB wants to go somewhere where they have a chance to compete for the starting job. LOL, he ain't special. I didn't say he was special. I said I understand the logic. I never said he was special from anybody else. I said I understand why he did it.
I mean, it sounds like that. I mean, according to what you're saying, that because there's a rumor out there that says that he went to Cleveland because Jimmy Haslam has a relationship with his father, and Jimmy Haslam did his father a favor by drafting
I heard
Shedeur.
that too. Yeah,
I've heard that,
stuff,
but then I don't know if that's true because
we're
Jimmy
not gonna know
Haslam has
that,
come out and said that he had nothing to do with the Shedeur pick.
He
That's
did.
all on Andrew Berry. So I don't know who it's on, but the whole point is every team passed up on him multiple times.
And I don't. For me, like I said, if you might not want to call it collusion. I know what you want to call it, but I don't think that he's a 5th round talent. Now, you may not say he's a Cam Ward talent. You may say he's not Jackson Dart level, and that's fair if you feel that way. But I don't think that I don't think him going to the 5th round. I'm like, come on.
Talent.
I don't think he's a 5th round talent.
I don't think he's a 5th round talent, but I don't get the pick. And I've seen quarterbacks that I've seen get drafted, Johnny Manziel, where I said I don't think he's a 1st round talent, but somebody saw him as a 1st round talent and they took him. I saw Tom Brady go in the 6th round, and I'm like, there's no way in the hell Tom Brady is a 6th round talent. He was winning in Michigan. He won national championship in Michigan, and somebody said Tom Brady is a 6th round talent. They get it wrong all the time. And Shedeur might be another case where they got it wrong. I think it's another case where they got it wrong. But for whatever reason, every team passed up on him. And then he started passing up on teams. Go somewhere where they want you. Go somewhere where they want to develop you, where they have your best interest in mind. Because now you have people saying, oh, Kevin Stefanski, he don't like him. He don't have Shedeur's best interest in mind. Well, hell, Shedeur put himself in that place. Because he could have went to Baltimore, and he already been starting by now. And he could be somebody's franchise quarterback already. Because they done traded the 1st and the 2nd round pick for him to bring him in. But,
that's an assumption, but okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so as of right now, Cleveland was the only team dumb enough to touch a hot stove. All the other teams, like, I'm not gonna put my hand on the stove. It's hot. I don't know what team. I don't know what team. Because he's a distraction. Because Shedeur's talent is a distraction. If he's not playing behind,
right there, you say he's distracted.
Yes, because if he's not playing behind. Because if he's not playing behind Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts,
the media Stafford, made it that way.
If he's not playing behind one of those solid quarterbacks where you're not worried about people saying put Shedeur in, he's going to be a distraction to all of those teams.
They made it that way,
and all of those other teams were smart enough to say, "I'm not touching Shedeur because I don't want no distraction." And the teams that were willing to take him, Baltimore, Philadelphia, they have starting quarterbacks who are strong enough to where the fan base will not be ready to get rid of them if they have 1 or 2 bad games because they want to see Shedeur. He can't go to Cleveland. He can't go to New Orleans. He couldn't go. Not if you draft another guy that you want to develop. He can't go anywhere where you have a quarterback who's not stand put in that franchise.
That's not,
right.
Yeah.
So
I understand what you're saying.
Cleveland should have never drafted him. That's the problem. And that's the problem. That's why we keep talking about him. Because people say, oh, look at Little Dylan. Shedeur is better than him, which I agree, but they drafted Little Dylan in the 1st round. They're going to give him every opportunity to succeed or fail. But we would not have these conversations if he went to Baltimore, if he went to Philly, if he went to Kansas City. We wouldn't even be talking about Shedeur.
But but the thing is, they made it that way because leading up to the draft, it was Shedeur and Cam Ward. Cam Ward and Shedeur.
I mean, Shedeur guys.
So yes, when he falls all the way out the 1st round, then the 2nd round, then the third round, and then the fourth round, then the fifth
Right.
round. It became
Right.
a very, very trending topic. We didn't talk about nothing else in the draft. It was a Shedeur Sanders draft.
Yeah.
And because they did it that way, or it fell that way, that's why even now it's still a trending topic.
It was
If he
brilliant
would have
by the
actually
NFL.
gone, I personally believe if he would have gone higher in the draft, no matter where he would have gone to, I don't think it wouldn't be as so many eyes on it, because every time we go back to him falling into the fifth round, that's always he should have fallen the fifth round. He shouldn't be there. They colluded. They're racist. They're this. They're that. He's not talented. He's never good enough. He's overrated. All these different things. We're talking about it because of the spotlight that was put on him in the draft. He didn't want to go to
There
the
you go.
draft because he didn't want the spotlight on him. He chose to just stay with his family.
Right.
I mean, they invited him. He said, "I'm not going to go." He chose to stay at home with his family, and even then, it still became a big thing. Then you
Yeah,
had
they still had cameras on him.
and then he had his own cameras there. I'm just saying,
Right.
but because
He
he
keeps a
kept
camera crew with
falling,
him at all
it
times.
made it even more of a topic. And then you had the owner whose son called or whatever, they prank
Right.
called him, whatever have you. Like
Right.
that also was a thing.
Yeah,
They
he-
called and pretend they were going to draft him, and then they
Yeah.
didn't draft him. That was also something that added on to it. All those layers are why we're still talking about him now. It's
Right.
not just Shedeur because he wanted to go to Cleveland, and that's only what I'm talking about.
Right. The media has done a great job of entertaining. I'll give it to them. They know the NFL for the first time, they had the highest ratings for draft day number 2 and draft day number 3 than they ever had. Even my mama was watching the draft. She didn't never watch the draft before, but she know her some Shedeur, and she want to see where Shedeur gonna get drafted.
Oh,
If
she
he got a
does?
second
Okay.
round- Oh yeah. Me and my mom, we watch every Shedeur game he had. She still. I mean, my mama love Dion. I mean, like I said, we from
Okay.
Atlanta, so we I like Shedeur not because of who he is. I like Shedeur because his dad is Dion, and I root for all things Dion. That's just how I go. I'm from Atlanta, so yeah. So my mama, we watching draft day number 2, watching draft day number 3. We want to see where Shedeur goes. So people love Shedeur. It just he overplayed his hand, which is fine. And the media took advantage of it. Media said, people are watching Cleveland Brown games today. Nobody cares about the Cleveland Browns. Everybody know the Cleveland Browns is a sucky organization. They're one of the worst organizations in all the sports. Forget football. In all the sports. People are paying attention to the Cleveland Browns and talking about the Cleveland Browns because of Shedeur. And he's not even playing.
No, hold on real quick. Because sometimes I really wonder if, like, when y'all drop these comments, like, if y'all are actually thinking about the comments that y'all are writing, because sometimes it really don't make sense to me, respectfully. I can't for life of me comprehend wearing a chain every day. Do you see Shedeur every day to know what he wears every single day in his life? If I was a coach, I wouldn't want him as leader of other men. So
He's trolling, though.
Huh?
He's trolling. At this point, he's trolling.
Because I'm just like, we don't know any of these QBs wear every day. No
Right.
matter who it is. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what they do. You know what I mean? We know what we see. Of course, obviously, what they put on social media, what people film and post. But we don't know what Shedeur's day in and day out look like. Why do we keep talking about him with a chain? Like, so what if
That's
he
'cause
wears a
he's trolling.
chain?
He's trolling you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like what's
Clearly.
going on?
I wouldn't
But
even
he's
pay
not the
attention
only
to
one.
that.
Like, I see all kinds of comments like this. I'm like, y'all just be putting out all kinds of judgmental stuff.
Yeah,
But I
but a
actually
lot of-
want to get to see people for themselves, like, see him as a person. Even Shedeur didn't have a chain on, he still wouldn't be playing right now in
Yeah.
Cleveland.
A lot of quarterbacks wear chains. Joe Burrows wear chains. Kirk Cousins wore a lot of chains. For a lot of
And they're
years,
both
Jackson
white,
Dart wears
so-
chains. I mean, hell, you got quarterbacks. It don't matter. It ain't got nothing to do with winning football games. It ain't got nothing to do with arm talent. It ain't got nothing to do with reading defenses, being able to escape the pocket. That ain't got nothing to do with none of that. So I could care less about wearing chains and all that. I think Shedeur is a great leader. I think he'll be a great leader of
Yeah.
a football team. Three other things. I think Shedeur was the best quarterback in the draft when it came to accuracy, when it came to football IQ, and when it comes to leading the team, leading young men. I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft for all that. Unfortunately, NFL teams don't draft you for those things. Those things are called the intangibles. They draft you based off arm strength, speed, and stature. How big is he? Is he real strong and muscular? That's what they. Justin Herbert is the prototypical quarterback. as far as size, speed, and stature.
And,
That's
and
what
how
they're
does
looking.
how does that go with Dylan Gabriel?
It doesn't. That's why Dylan Gabriel was a 3rd-round pick.
Okay, he's
That's
still
why
in
he
it.
was.
He's still
Right, that's why he
okay.
was. Your Brock Purdy's go last.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. Russell
Yeah.
Wilson was a 3rd-round pick. They don't draft those guys in the 1st round. They draft all Tom Brady because Tom Brady didn't have great arm strength, didn't have great mobility, and he had a dad bod. He went in the 6th round.
Not a dad bod.
He was better than every quarterback in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
But because they don't draft off the intangibles, they
Mhm.
draft all that other stuff. That's why they get it wrong so many times. That's why I
Mhm.
believe they got it wrong with Shador. But if you're gonna, when I speak about Dylan Gabriel and he should be able to develop, I'm only talking from the sense that they drafted him in the 3rd round, which means they liked him more than they liked the guy who they took in the 5th round. If that's the case, give Dylan Gabriel every opportunity to succeed or fail. The problem is
He's had it and he's failed.
the problem he hasn't failed because he hasn't had enough time. He needs the whole season to prove that his confidence isn't shot, and he isn't playing so awful where it looks like he just fell off a cliff. He's only had one game where he's turned the ball over. Those other games he's played clean. So with that being said, he deserves an opportunity to be developed the whole season. The problem is, once again, the Cleveland Browns should have never drafted Shador. And Shador should have never turned down the Baltimore Ravens. He got to take some accountability for what's going on with his football career as well.
Yeah.
I mean, hindsight is always 20/20. I think he thought that, he would have a fair chance, to compete to be, a starting QB, when he got there. Obviously, if he knew then what he knows now, he'd probably make a different decision. But
Right.
we don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, we go based off what we think is best for ourselves when we're making a decision at the time.
It happens.
So,
It happened to me. It happened to me a long time ago. I was told to invest in Bitcoin. It was 5 cents. I was like, man, I ain't fooling with this Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Hindsight, like I would have been rich if I would have just put a couple $100 down on Bitcoin. It happens. Sometimes we make the wrong decision. I still gotta take accountability for me not willing to put a couple $100 down on Bitcoin. That ain't nobody's fault. That's my fault.
I mean, well, I mean, with that's different, but there's layers to Shador's situation. Only thing he can do now is just, stick to his faith,
Yes.
and hopefully, I'm a firm believer in whatever's meant to be will be. So whether it's in Cleveland, whether it's someplace else, you know what I mean? I do believe he'll get his chance.
Yeah,
I don't know when it's gonna be, but it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. What you want to say, Brother Dean? Because you never this quiet.
No.
for this long.
Well, no, my anger was seething when that Christian nationalist that was just up here. What was his name? God before.
Oh, my Christian who? Oh, Nasir.
Christian nationalist. It's when you amalgamate the Bible with the laws of the land that favor colonialism, and anyway, but so,
Okay.
I want to cut him up. But anyway, going back to
Okay.
Shador, just very briefly, I had to get it out. You know me, I'm black.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I am what I am. So, I just want to say that owners colluded. It's back. It's
Oh
going
God.
backfire.
Oh God. We're going back there again. After all that, I just want to say that they still colluded and they're all a bunch of racists, right?
No. But I don't believe that everybody is racist. I just believe that people have a tendency to go with the crowd to keep the peace. Like, I see you getting beat up over there, but it's more us than it's you. So I'm just going to agree with the majority. So my life can be easier. So I really don't think everyone's a racist. No. So so when I see that happen to Shador, I think it's a shame. But I know how things happen and how things go. They when once people put the the word out about you, it's over. It's over. And
Reputation is very important.
Yeah, and for people, oh, who got changed? You know how many people got changed in the NFL? You know, and I know that we already, made that point, but you know who made those changes and sold them to him? But that's another story for another day, right?
Oh God, here
So
we go. Here we go.
no, I'm just saying
Yeah,
though,
but
but
We
if
going
you
further down the rabbit hole. Go
but
ahead.
Shador has a great reputation though. I don't see where he has
yeah,
a
I
bad
know
reputation.
he's a
He
cool
Yeah, I
doesn't
dude.
though.
mean
I
And
he
mean,
yeah,
it
he has a
depends
great
on the
reputation.
lens you look through. You know what I mean? People look at him sometimes and they say, oh, he's full of himself. He's always flashing his watches and so on and so forth. Like he needs to do this or do that. And like I said, I think a lot of times I really feel people have a problem with Shador. Like
No,
they
he's a
want
humble
him,
kid.
like,
He has a great reputation. He helped. I mean, I was just looking at some earlier where he gave bought a car for some lady who was in need so she could take her children to school. Like he's a decent dude. Now,
But if you choose to look at or focus on what you heard about him in the draft, then that's what people choose
I mean,
to
you got to
see.
go by the reports. The reports are the reports.
You
You
know
have
what I
to go
mean?
by the reports. And
But there's also other reports, like you just mentioned, about him buying the lady a car.
yeah.
So,
I
like I
mean, but
said,
I
it
know
depends
that
on.
because all
There's
that is
other good
reported.
reports out there.
I'm saying they report all of it. They report the positive things he's doing in the community. They report everything, especially when it comes to Shador. The
But people
reports are
only look
reports.
at the
But
negative, though.
I haven't seen one negative report. I have not seen one report
real?
about Shador. He was found drunk somewhere. He was beating up some people.
Well, no,
He
you don't
went
have to
signing
be that though,
autographs for
right?
some little kids. I haven't heard one negative report about Shador.
That's
All
why I
the
said a
reports.
lot of it goes back to what people heard about him in the draft and what they perceive him to be versus
Right.
who he actually is.
Well,
And
let's
like I
just be
said,
honest.
and that's more like about the person to me than
Okay,
Shador.
let's be honest about the person that Shador is. I mean, yeah, he did have the speeding thing. He got caught speeding a couple times, actually
Yeah,
in
it was
Cleveland.
twice. Yeah,
Which,
I believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I was like, you can't do that because you're a quarterback, and as a quarterback, you have to have good decision making. You can't be
Let's
caught
just not do that
speeding.
at all because we could actually kill ourselves with somebody else.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Not
You gotta
even-
have good decision making. I mean,
Mhm.
Jameis
Like
Winston.
Ben
when
Roethlisberger
Jameis
had,
Win-
right? But go ahead.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger had poor decision making.
Yeah, I'm just
And
saying.
he got and the league suspended him because of his poor decision making. They
Mhm.
made him sit down, and then he had to end up getting married to try to clean up his reputation. I saw Jameis Winston. I love Jameis Winston coming out of Florida State. I was like, he's gonna be the black quarterback that's gonna revolutionize the game from the pocket. But after he did that thing he did with the Uber driver, I was out on Jameis Winston because I said he doesn't have good decision making. As a quarterback,
I'm gonna give you the last word. Go ahead on this.
the most important thing you can be as a quarterback is have good decision making. What I wanted to really say about Shador is Shador was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He never had to compete for anything in his life. His dad was always his coach. He never had to fight for a quarterback job. He was always going to win a quarterback job. I'm okay for the first time in his life. He has to be patient and he has to compete for something. So I'm cool with that. And I always root for that guy, that small guy who has to fight and scratch and claw. And folks say he's too small. He can't do it. His arm is not big enough.
Who said he shouldn't have to earn it though?
I'm just saying, I can't root against the guy who has to get everything out the mud and has to go against everybody saying he can't do it to prove that he can do it. So I can't root against Dylan Gabriel. I like Shador, but I'm okay with Shador having to finally work and fight for an opportunity to be the starting quarterback of an NFL team. I'm not
Well,
going to cry.
I never heard
over-
anybody say it should be given to him. At least I know I haven't said that. But there's also another side of it too. Like Kendall Jenner, right? Obviously, Kim Kardashian's one of her younger sisters. People always say like because of what Kim did and whether or not you agree, don't agree, you believe it. She leaked it, she didn't. I don't know. Another conversation, but I remember her saying, she's a model. You know what I mean? A lot of big campaigns, makes a lot of money doing it. People say, oh, you got it because of who your mom, and at the time her dad before he transitioned, was her dad, and so on and so forth, Olympian, things of that nature. People always said, she always said, people said, well, you got your opportunity because of who your family is. Then she's like, no, that's not the case. Even because of who my family is, I have more of a light on me than most. So, like I said, that also can be a side of it too. I mean, if you talk to Shador, he might have some different stories or some different things to say that we may not see. I don't know everything about how he grew up. I don't know what his dad made him earn, what he didn't earn, how things were in schools prior to him. All those different things. Neither here nor there. But as it pertains to the NFL, I would like to see him get an opportunity. And if you're not going to give him one there because you want to keep Dylan, you want to get somebody else in the draft, then move him along. You know what I mean? Like there's always a way to package something or somebody. You can put him with some other people and get some other assets in to help Dylan. Maybe he'll look better in the offense if you give him some more weapons. You know what I mean? But find a way to do something. Because right now, him just sitting there looking around, like it's not helping Dylan, it's not helping Shedeur, and it's not helping the overall team, build and win some games.
I agree with you there. I just don't know what they can do with it. Might as well sell them jerseys to get that money.
Yeah, that could be it too. But are you good or you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
You never this quiet.
No, because I'm a
this
guest.
quiet,
So
guys.
I'm a guest. So I take the black and I put it on the shelf and I sit here.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, you guys have been on here for almost 3 hours.
I do. I mean, yeah.
We've been on here a lot longer than we normally are. But that's thanks to Brother D. But so I'm gonna try to keep moving along. I know it's getting really late at the 2 a.m. I wanted to ask you guys really quickly: do you think the Giants made the right choice in firing Brian Daboll? There's a lot of fans that didn't agree with it. A lot of Giant fans like that's wrong decision. He should have kept his job. What do y'all think?
Now you going?
Sure. I'm okay with Brian Daboll getting fired. I'm surprised they kept the GM, but maybe they kept the GM because they like that he drafted Malik Neighbors, and they like that he drafted Jackson Dart, and they like that he drafted Carter. So maybe they thought that the GM drafted and brought in some decent players, and maybe that's why they decided to keep him. But I'm okay with them getting rid of Daboll because Daniel Jones went down to Indianapolis and he looks like a whole nother player. And so I felt like all along that was going to catch up to Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it finally did. And the way they blew that 10-point lead, even though Jackson Dart got hurt, the fact that you kept allowing him to be put in harm's way, even though it might not be his fault. Jackson Dart ran because he wanted to run. At the end of the day,
that's his natural instinct is to run.
Right. At the end of the day, when you're losing games, somebody has to take the blame. Somebody has to be the scapegoat. And when you have a record that Brian Daboll has in New York, I'm sorry, you were just next on the chopping block. That's just the way it goes. And that's similar to where I think it might happen for Kevin Stefanski. I mean, your record is your record. At the end of the day, somebody has to take the blame for these losses. And sometimes you're just the next man up on the chopping block.
What you think, Willoughby?
Well, I think my main man Butterball,
the short version, please, not the 5-hour version. What you think?
Yeah, no, I'm just peeling my cashews. That's all. I'm trying to get my thoughts together.
Here we go. The long version. It's the long version.
No, but no, seriously, I think it was right to fire him because he was doing everything to preserve his job. That's what he was doing. When I have a kid who's overzealous and they like to, they real froggy and they jump a lot, me as the adult in the room, I have the authority and the power to go over to him and show disapproval where he would probably try to rein it in a little bit. But we seen Captain Butterball. He would go over there, he's slapping and rubbing his head like, yeah. Plus he was rubbing it in Russell Wilson's face while he was doing that. He had a he was on a dual mission doing this stuff, and he was cheering them on like, yeah. And when you see stuff like that, only thing you're doing is you're perpetuating a like a head-on collision. I knew he was going to get hurt. I called it early. I don't know if guys remember. I said both of those cats would get hurt. Him and Scatterbomb was both were going to get hurt, and lo and behold,
Scatterbomb was not a bum.
I'm only playing when I say that. But anyway, Scatterbomb, they both got hurt. And when you're overzealous like that, and you're just like you're kind of reckless. I don't know if you remember. Well, you remember RG3 Naughty, like how RG3 would just run into people. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And you know, I seen his leg, you know, hyper extend, like the knee go inward. I'm like, dude, what's going on with you? It's something inside of men's heads. Ben Roethlisberger, he had a little boy syndrome. If you jump on him while he had the ball, he's still fighting to stay. I'm like, Ben, there's 3 people on you. Just go down. Where else you gonna go, dude? You either gonna fumble the ball or you gonna get hurt. So when you see people like that, you have to do everything you can do to protect them. But he didn't do anything to protect them. He encouraged it. And he encouraged it because he was like, oh, this is winning games. This is making people cheer. I'm creating an arc of safety around me with the fans and also with a couple of wins. Nope. Owners don't look at things like that. They're like, all right, you're going to get my boy hurt like that? You got to go. And so that's why I'm all for him, you know, getting fired, because he had tunnel vision. And that's my assessment on him.
I think that he's not a head coach. I think that he's better off as being an OC. A lot of people like they hang his success on what he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. Just because he has success, he was an OC, like he wasn't the head coach. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, he might have better success being the OC. So I expect him to have a job next season. I don't think he's going to be unemployed for too long, if I'm being honest with you. Head coach, sometimes you can be really great defensive mind, great defensive coach, but according when it comes to, you know, you being a head coach, sometimes the two don't marry. You know what I mean? Like, and there's no shame in that. But I understand why they fired him. I did expect it. I expect him to get fired right now. I thought maybe at the end of the season. But I'm not surprised at all. They said, you know what, Jackson Dart he's hurt, he's concussed, so there's no need for us to even like go ahead and keep prolonging this. You can just thank you so much for your services, and you know we wish you well in your future endeavors. And I understand it. Moving on, so I'm gonna wrap this up and get out of here. We've been on here for a hot minute, y'all. I said this to you. I said a long time ago. I said the Bills can't stop the run. You know what I mean? And that's going to catch up to the Bills. As much as I love Joshua Tyrell Allen, I'm like they need another weapon. Now I didn't know this, but they did try to get I said it on Get Up this morning. Or was it First Take? One of the two. They were trying to get Jalen Waddle, and it didn't work out. I didn't know that. So at least they had enough sense to know that you need somebody else. When James Cook is not cooking, like, and he wasn't having the best game yesterday, you need somebody else. Like they need something else. And even if they had another weapon, I know on the offensive side of things, the defense has to be able to stop the run. They have to be able to stop it, and they cannot do that. And until they figure out how to do that, it's going to be a problem. Like I said, they'll make it far like they usually do, but I think they're going to get to the same point, and then they're going to be going back home. And I love Josh, but like defense is a problem because Josh can't always make up for the mistakes all the time. Like he can't always put the cape on. That's unrealistic. It's not going to happen every single season.
I'm worried about Buffalo right now. And yes, the defense has some flaws that they need to shore up.
Mm-hmm.
But if Josh Allen plays the way he played yesterday, it's going to be, I don't even know if they can make the playoffs if he's going to play like he played yesterday. I mean,
I'm not worried about him playing like that every single game.
I am, because he reverted back to the old Josh Allen. Last year, he played so well. He finally was not turning the ball over. He wasn't throwing 2 interceptions a game. And then yesterday, it looked like old Josh Allen. Yeah, you can make plays, you can do things, but those turnovers that he was making, those were first, second-year quarterback mistakes. These are mistakes where I'm like, come on, dog, you've been playing the game too long to make those mistakes. So they could have overcame Miami's running game and Achane down having over 200 all-purpose yards. They could have overcame that because Tours didn't play great. I mean, they played okay. They played a good game. Miami played a good game, but they didn't play a great game. I've seen Josh Allen beat teams. I mean, we can go back to week 1 against Baltimore. Lamar Jackson played a great game, and Josh Allen overcame that.
That's why I'm not worried about him
staying like Josh Allen. But yesterday, I expected Josh Allen to overcome that. I was like, yeah, it's okay. They're gonna beat Miami. There's no way they're gonna lose this game to Miami. And then
I agree, yeah.
because Miami went up a whole bunch. But
They
then
weren't,
Josh
yeah.
Allen kept, throwing the interception in the red zone. I
Mhm.
was like, this is, if he keep playing like that, man, I don't think they gonna get to where everybody wants them to go.
I don't think that I've seen enough of him to trust him in bigger moments. I don't think that's going to be something that he does week in and week out. But being fair, like yesterday was not a good game at all. You know what I mean? Like there's just no way to pretend like it was, in any way, shape, or form. But to like what you were saying, like I've seen, like I said, the week before. I think a part of them also because they beat Miami a few times now, like they kind of came into it like, oh, we beat the Chiefs, it's Miami, they've been losing, and so on and so forth. Like we don't have to really take them too serious. You know what I mean? They should have. I feel like they kind of came into a little bit lackadaisical as well, and they lost the game. It is what it is. But I've seen enough of Josh. Even like I said, the team as a whole, the defense showed up when they played against the Chiefs week before, because you know that you can't make type of mistakes with Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Like you know better. Like you better bring your A game when you playing against the Ravens, Detroit Lions. Like I've seen enough of Josh like in bigger moments to say I don't think that he's going to play that every single game. But there are some, like I said, there are some questions. Like I said, James Cook is not going to be the savior every single week. That's a problem. Keon Coleman, I don't know what's going on with him this season. He's been very, very quiet. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if he's just having, a bit of a down season in his second year. I don't know what's going on. Some of the plays I saw Josh trying to force things. I'm like, Josh, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? It might be time to say maybe, Sean might need to go into this season. They may need a different voice in the locker room too. Like we might have to be like, okay, maybe this is you know what I mean? We'll see how the season ends, but right now, Josh cannot play like that, and the defense has to be able to stop the run. They have to. Like they're not gonna win a ring like that. It's not gonna happen.
Just quickly, they've had some bad losses. That's what concerns me.
Falcons
you beat Kansas City, but when you lose to the Falcons and then you lose to Miami, those are bad losses.
They are.
Mm-hmm. You have to play. Every team in the NFL has players that get paid money, and they go out there to play hard to win games. I don't care if their record is 1-8, 2-7, or 7-2. They're out there to try to beat you. You have to play every game like you're playing a top-notch team. And Josh Allen knows this. And those guys in Buffalo, they know this. The head coach knows this. So there's no excuses for laying the egg against teams like the Falcons. No, not an excuse of
reality. I've heard former players say that when they played against a BS team. I know, we got it, we good.
Teams that say that don't win Super Bowls.
Well, one guy did. But go ahead.
Brother D.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. So Josh Allen shares a trait that with a female tennis player by the name of Aryna Sabalenka. She's the number one tennis player in the world. What they do is they have so much, they're so hype that they commit mistakes because they habitually overstep, if I can use that without referencing Chappelle. So when I see Josh and he's throwing, he's anticipating trying to throw people open like that. That's what I really thought happened in the end zone when he threw that pick. Sometimes you're trying to throw people open, you're thinking that the person's going to cut, and it's like, well, they're not on the same page as you, Josh. And then you got other things that factored in from like people from last year. Well, like, when your wideout was a rookie, everything was cool. But now everybody studies you, and now everybody is starting to learn your pattern and your tendencies. So, so when I weigh Josh Allen, if I just look at it and from a macro perspective, and I look down, I go, you know what? Josh Allen's the same cat he's always been. What has really changed? Like, oh, Josh, he played so well last year. Okay, so let's take last year. What about all the other years? He choked year after year after year after year. We see him make some crucial things. The only time we didn't see him make a huge mistake is when it's the 13-second game when he played against Patrick Mahomes, and Pat came in and throws a touchdown. Outside of that, we don't see Josh really doing anything that was, to me, don't get me wrong, I think he's a very good quarterback. But I see that this thing that he does when he gets hype, he commits too many mistakes. Lamar does it in reverse. Lamar, he gets like LeBron, bobbles the ball, he throws errant pass be going all over the place. It's something about that energy that's there. They get really hype and they commit these mistakes. And as we've seen with Aryna Sabalenka, we've seen Coco Gauff beat her 2 times. Yep. And a grand slam. Because Coco took advantage of what? Her weaknesses. So once again, we're going to see Josh Allen. He's going to ascend and he's going to fail once he gets there in the championship game. I know, and Kaj, let me tell you something. I got some tissues over here waiting just for you. And they're blue, they're red, white, and blue. And I want you to blow your nose till your brains come out. But nevertheless, that's what's going to end up happening with Josh Allen.
I believe in Josh. I don't really care who doesn't. That don't faze me.
You know, I'm only yanking your chain.
I'm not joking. I'm actually quite serious. I believe in his talent. I believe in him.
I believe in his talent too, but I know
that I'm saying firm in that. I don't care who I'm talking to.
All right, that's cool too. But I know, but because he historically chokes.
I don't think he choked last year. That was coaching to me. That was the difference in that game.
Okay. So he
it was. You tried that tush push over and over and over again. You're in the fourth quarter. It's not working. Call different play. They had 3 chances. 3 chances. That's coaching. That's not Josh.
We can't call him ballsy when he wants to take the ball and do what he wants to do. Oh, Josh, he's.
I don't know who he is. I'm talking about Kaj. I'm speaking for me, and I'm saying in that game last season, that was not Josh. That was bad coaching, and I stand by that.
But see, everybody wants to say, oh yeah, he's the ballsy type guy. He'll take it. He'll just take over the game. And then when it's time for him to do it once again, inept. It happens time and time again. So when I see it, I gotta call it. Look, just like I love Lamar, but I'm like, Lamar, yo, dude,
I believe in his talent as well.
So do I. And that's what's frustrating because I know he can do it. I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm saying that
he said Josh can.
Because he allows that thing inside of him to take over. He gets so antsy. He like, yeah, I'm gonna throw this joint. He gets all hyped up, and all of a sudden, okay, get hyped up. Go ahead, do it, bro. He do it, and what he comes up short. He comes up short every time. And so, as I said, from a macro position, you look at it and you weigh it. And if you're a betting person, you tell me if you put your money on there.
On Josh to win the Super Bowl? Or you talking about Josh like to win this random game?
Overall, when you look at his track record, I'm just talking about.
I'm not putting on Super Bowl because I don't think the team is strong enough. And this is a team sport. It's not golf.
Okay, let's just say getting there. Let's say getting there, right?
If it's just him, no, you're not going to get to a Super Bowl. He can get close. We've seen him get close time and time again. But this is a team sport.
But this, all right, take it from the team perspective then. But he still
I don't think is good enough.
But he still does things that are bonehead. He still does things. He allow himself to. He put himself in a predicament where he's like, okay, what am I going to do? And he does the wrong thing. He does the wrong thing. That's the whole thing with Josh Allen. And see, because the closer you get to the top, it bottlenecks, right? It bottlenecks, and it's like I can no longer be like, yo, that's my bull. Yo, man, white bull, coolish. You know what I mean? I can't do all. After a while, you got to go. All right, what we dealing with, dog? Okay. Oh, so when it's like this, you usually throw the ball at least like 1 yard too far ahead, or you throw it behind him. Just like what's his boy name? Donovan McNabb. He got nervous. He just throw dirt balls. Boom, balls will hit the dirt. Pow. You're like, what's wrong with you? Nerves. They can't control them. You have to get control of that. Because once again, you're no longer an asset at that point. You're now a liability. And when you're a liability, guess what? You're going to keep on losing.
Without Josh and Lamar, the teams will be nowhere. So there's no way I can put either one of them in the liability category.
I would say it is, at the end of the day, it is a team game. Unfortunately, football is a team game where the quarterback gets too much credit and they also take too much blame. And
I can agree with that.
when it comes to winning Super Bowls because the media likes to tell a story. It's all about storytelling.
Mhm.
It's always about the quarterback. What did he do? Did he do enough to win? Did he not do enough to win?
Mhm.
And I remember coming up and saying the best quarterback I saw before Patrick Mahomes with my own eyes was Steve Young. And he had to play in the shadow of Joe Montana for a lot of years because he replaced Joe Montana, and Joe Montana was a great.
Mhm.
And he couldn't get over the hump. He couldn't win the Super Bowl until he did. And once he did, all the naysayers, everything they had ever said about Steve Young had to go out the window
Mhm.
because he finally proved to everybody that I am that guy
Mhm.
who I say I am, who y'all see me to be. We
Mhm.
just were losing to the Dallas Cowboys and other teams that were better than our teams. It wasn't me. So I think that's the same with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Their teams aren't going to get any better than what they are. They are what they are. Their teams have paid them a huge salary to make up for the areas that they're flawed in. And their teams believe that they are capable of going out there and making up and filling those gaps. So at the end of the day, he has to do the best he can. And when you turn over the balls, especially turn over the ball in big games like Lamar Jackson did last year, and turn the ball over in big games, or if you turn over the ball like Josh Allen did against Miami this past weekend, it's gonna
You're not gonna
they're
win.
gonna point at the quarterback and say he's the reason why we're not getting it done. And whether it's fair or unfair, that's just a narrative that's gonna be played out, and it's a narrative that has always been played out in the history of the National Football League. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's why you get the big bucks.
I mean, if you're
Yep.
turning the ball over, we can't be like, oh, like you have nothing to do with why they lost. You know what I mean? Like we
Right.
can't. If you looking at it and we see you turn over 3 times, 4 times, like okay, I can't pretend like Josh didn't like throw like 3 interceptions in the game. I mean, as much as I love Josh, I mean, if you did it, you did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do feel like you said, like quarterbacks get all the praise, they get all the blame. But the best teams to me that win Super Bowls, they have a complete team. I don't think the Bills have a complete team. And I think because Josh has the mentality sometimes, let me put my cape on and try to force this and do things, he's up making mistakes. And you have, if it was going to work, it would have worked already. Like you have to add something else to this team. Like they're not going to win it all as presently constructed. I don't think so. If something happens in in the playoffs, somebody gets hurt, in the middle of a game and things shift around because that can happen too. Like it's always, a little bit of luck, and different things that can obviously help you win games in those big moments. I don't see them winning it all. Not the way they have it right now.
Yeah,
And,
but
that's even with as great as Josh is. I know it's what they paid him 200 plus million, whatever it
Right.
is, to make up for the mistakes of or the lack thereof or lack of talent. I hate to say that because it's I hate to be to kind of put down people's talent. But I understand they paid Joe Burrow what they paid him and to make up, for what the defense is lacking, things of that nature. But it's also unrealistic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like the only one person, like Joe is talented, Jamar is talented, but it can't be the two of them winning the Super Bowl against a team like the Eagles or whatever have you. Have a complete team on both sides of the ball. Like it's not going to work like that, So I always say I feel they need to do something different with that, but that's probably never going to happen. So we'll have to see what goes with that.
Well, they try. They went and got Joey Bosa in the offseason and put him on that edge. And against Kansas City, Buffalo looked like a complete team. I mean, it was all
Because it's
over.
Kansas City and they got
That
that
was all
little,
over.
like you
all
always
over
beat us
Pat.
in the playoffs,
Yeah.
like we know, like kind of thing.
They drafted Keon Coleman and they was hoping that he was gonna be a wide receiver that he was in the same lights as Jackson and Jigba Smith or Jetta. They thought that's what he was gonna be. And I mean he caught a touchdown, but he only had 3 touchdowns on the season. He hasn't lived up to the height that they thought they were gonna get out of him. So I don't know. I think they're doing their best. It just sometimes
It's not enough. Yeah.
right. Sometimes sometimes you can only do what you can do.
Mhm.
I mean, well, I know they tried to get, Waddle. That didn't work out. I wish they would try to get somebody else, you know. But it is what it is, But I think it's unrealistic as much as these QBs make to expect them to cover up for all the flaws on the roster and have you win a Super Bowl. Like this is a tough league. Like it's
Well,
a violent sport. Like
one
it's,
thing about one thing about Tom Brady is he took less money so they can have a better team around him.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're gonna take max money as a quarterback, you got to understand that we can't put everything around you. That's why we're giving you the max money so you can fill in those holes. Now,
Josh didn't take Max. I don't think Pat did either.
yeah, but I mean, he took Now Pat has a real team friendly deal because Pat Mahomes understand I need to put more players around me. Josh Allen just did. He didn't take more than what Dak got, but he took a whole lot of money to where it's gonna be hard to put those other pieces around him. I mean, you want to take less? I mean, take Baker Mayfield money, and then I can put
Mhm.
all kind of pieces around you. But if you're not willing to take Baker Mayfield money, then guess what?
But you gotta also be fair to yourself.
Right. So
for
at the
me,
end of
I
the
gotta be fair. Like I'm not gonna be like take a lot less than what you worth. That's
Right.
any of the QBs, the top QBs in the league.
Right.
Like
But I'm
be
saying
fair
that's
to
what Tom
yourself.
Brady did. That's why I say Tom Brady cheated. He didn't get paid what he was supposed to get paid. He took a whole lot less so
Mhm.
they can put all these. Tim Duncan did the same thing with San Antonio. He was my
Mhm.
favorite player, but I'm like, damn, Tim Duncan cheating the game because he's taking all this less money so I can pay Manu Ginobili, I can get Kawhi, I can get Tony
Mhm.
Parker, I can pay all these guys, but that's how you win championships. It's hard to take max money. That's why I appreciate
Mhm.
Bron. Bron took max money and still won. That's
Mhm.
very hard to do. It's
Yeah,
very
that is
hard to
true.
take max money and still win.
But they was paying that luxury tax too with Bron too. Don't
Yeah, I
forget
mean,
that.
yeah,
They was
you gotta pay that luxury now.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
in the NFL, you have a hard cap. You can't go
Mhm.
over the salary cap. You don't have that ability to
Exactly.
play a luxury. So
But
once you get to that cap, it's the cap, and it is what it is at that point.
that's the answer though, isn't it? No, right? The answer would have to be then you raise the cap. Everyone just keep
They
acting
raise the
like
cap
the
every
owners,
year.
huh? But you know what
They
I'm
raise the
talking about.
cap every year.
I'm talking about significantly. So if you want to just like I have to at least pay at least a good 10 people good money. The NFL owners make more than enough cash to raise that
Yeah.
their cap significantly. They don't have to nickel and dime it every year. We got $10 more million. Come on.
You're right. But there's a loophole, and Jerry Jones has found a loophole, and a lot of the good owners have found a loophole. I can just pay them money up front out my pocket, and I call that
Yeah.
guaranteed money. It's right at the signing bonus. I can pay them money that don't count against the cap.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that,
Yeah.
but it's gonna come out the owner's pocket. But they
Yeah.
all got $10 billion or more. So that's why I don't never feel sorry for the owners. I don't never give them
Yeah.
excuse when they say they can't pay the players. Yes, you can. You can pay
Yes, you
every
can.
last one of them. They got the money. Don't never let the owners off the hook talking about they can't pay the money. Yes, you can. If you went and bought $150 million yacht, I mean, you can pay your running back and the linebacker and another guy.
Mhm.
But
you
they
guys
all act
really-
like they all suffering. I'm sorry, Kai, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say before we get out of here, y'all make this a true or false. 2 topics, right? So if I said Caleb Williams is gonna lead the Bears to the playoffs, are you saying true or are you saying false?
False.
True.
Why are you saying false? Really quickly.
Because he ain't good, and they only been beating up on bottom dwellers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He ain't beat nobody good yet. Let him play the good teams. And you're gonna see why with your eye test, he just ain't good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you say, Brother D?
Yeah, I say that he will. I mean, he does get very razzled when things
Mhm.
happen. Like he doesn't know how to keep his brow on. But
Oh my God, y'all.
yeah, sissy, you know that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I still think that his talent can be utilized if he play within the structure of the game. Yeah.
I was watching Get Up earlier, and I think it was Rex Ryan who was saying that Caleb is generational talent. Do you think he is? Either one of y'all think he's generational talent? I don't think he's generational.
Mm-mm.
I think as far as just the tangibles, like the arm strength and the stature, I think it's generational. But as far as what's between his head, Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something about him up here with me. I just be like, dude, what's wrong? You know, he has too many hissy fits up here. You know, and you see
He
it.
is very in touch with his emotions.
Yeah. He's nah. Can't be a quarterback.
I gotta
He
give
is
him
a
some
already
respect.
know.
quarterback. He
Yeah, I
is
mean,
a quarterback in touch with his
he is a
emotions.
quarterback, but he
He
can't be a
is.
great quarterback. And you got feminine tendencies. I mean, he's just an effeminate male. And
I mean,
you
a lot
can't be
of the kids nowadays are very
yeah,
feminine.
and they're
This
not
is
gonna
a
be
whole new
good. They're not
generation.
gonna.
Yeah,
They're not gonna be good athletes. All
Like,
those feminine males would not be good athletes.
you know, like they're not. They're not very masculine anymore. No, they do very.
Mm.
I don't want to say
Yeah,
soft things, you know, but
yeah, that's a shame.
you know.
Questionable thing. There you go.
Last thing,
See,
you guys, if I said that Drake May and the Patriots are headed to Super Bowl, are you saying you believe it or you don't? Believe it or no?
False.
No,
False.
false. What about you, Brother D? Why do you say false? Nani?
mm,
Because Kansas City Chiefs are still in the AFC,
Mm-hmm.
and Baltimore Ravens are still in the AFC. I like Drake May. He's playing great. I put him in as my number 3 on my MVP list right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't think he's ready in year 2 to catapult that team to the Super Bowl. Now I gotta see it. So until I see it, I'm not gonna believe it.
Okay. What about you, Brother D?
yeah, I think it's something about him. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about him. I think he's going to collapse when the real pressure get on. When we get out of this, because we going into week 9, right? Yeah, we're going
Week
to week
11.
9. I thought it was not the
We just
7.
finished
No,
week
we-
10. We're going to week 11.
Okay, yeah, okay, I got you. Well, after playing these games, where we are now, you're going to see things going to change, and when they change, I want to see how he's going to play, and I just don't believe there's something about him. I can't even articulate it, but I can just say that I don't believe that he would be able to overcome that next level of hitting, that next level of speed, that next level of, like that in your face, we're gonna hurt you. I just don't see him doing that. Nope.
I don't think so right now in year 2. I don't. Now, things happen, like he could have one of those runs like, Jaden Daniels had last year, and they can get really close, like who knows, but I don't expect them right now. Look, their record is 8-2. I do think at some point they'll hit, a rough patch, and you'll then get to see like how he responds. You know what I mean? But right now, it looks good, and I know like everybody's so. Last week everybody was like, "Oh, the Bills are Super Bowl favorites," and this week it's like they're pretenders; they're not real contenders. I'm like, it just goes like it just changes week to week. 1 week we're like, "Yes, he's the MVP, he's awesome, he's this, he's all the things," and then they have a bad game, and it's like, okay, I knew there was something wrong with him. Like I just knew like he was questionable, and it's like it changes so much. So. But because it's second year, because like you said, the Chiefs are still there, Ravens are still there. I don't think his talent matches up to theirs. Not even close right now. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We shall see. Anything I want to say before we get out of here? It's almost 3 hours, y'all. It's almost 3 a.m. Yep.
Hey, look, I'm a young man.
Okay.
Hey, pistachios. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I am. Hey, look. Yeah.
Whatever you say, sir.
Draw a line in the street and we just run, and that's to see who will beat.
I will leave you in the dust.
Yeah, I think you'll finish last.
In the dust.
Girl,
you wouldn't even move from that line. That starting
you
line.
bumped your damn head. Are you kidding me?
You wouldn't even move.
Do you know how
stop.
long my legs are?
You probably pull a hammy or something as soon as the race starts. Stop it. That's what I said. You probably pull a hammy, gonna hurt your knee.
Whoa.
Your back bothering you now sitting down on a podcast. He's like, oh, my back.
Just because my back get a couple shots up. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Hey,
mean
pause,
that.
man.
And I can't say
Wildin',
back
man.
shots. I
You
can't say
wildin',
back
man.
shots. You just can't say back shots. Anyway, let me just no,
Oh
but
my God.
no, but
I can't take
listen,
you in this pause every 2 seconds. I cannot.
I paused.
No, not you. Someone naughty.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Brother D.
it's
Just
clearly a
don't take
generational
just
thing.
don't
Like
take too many back
you
shots.
showing your age right now. You like, I paused? Who paused? What happened?
Right.
Like you look kind of confused.
No, because I didn't know that he was pausing. I left.
No,
Come
no,
on,
it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
you know, black men feel like they explain themselves when somebody say something to them, right? But
He said, I thought he was pausing.
No.
Okay.
he's menopausing, really? No,
OMG.
but
Yeah,
no,
you're
but
not winning that race. Stop it.
I
No,
am
he's
fast.
not.
I'm fast. You know,
Fast for your age, maybe, but you're not winning that race.
girl, I'll win that race every time.
Sir?
Seriously. Every time. Just like
No,
these
not every
boys
time.
trying to
But
play
I'll let
back.
you cling to your delusions if you must, if it makes you sleep better.
Can't girl. Do you know? Never mind.
Exactly.
And
Never mind.
I take full stride. I don't run from the knee down. You know what I mean? I take full stride.
Yeah, okay.
Girl, I would leave you. I'm from Philly, girl. Listen.
I don't care where you from. You know, like, that don't mean not now, nothing to me. But as long as you believe it, it starts with you. So I'll let you cling to those delusions. I know it'll make you feel better. And I understand.
You believe? Yep, I know.
Oh my God.
No,
It's time to get out of here. Okay. On that note, Naughty, what you want to say?
right.
Close it out. What are you showing us? Your heating
That-
pad? What is that?
Huh?
Is that your heating pad? What are you showing us?
No, I put my I put my phone up there because I have to leave my niece a message because I'm everybody's favorite uncle.
Okay, I'm not sure we're going. Here we go. No, now you didn't want to say we got here.
Why did I do it? And I
I
told
thought
you.
it was
still
a
trying to
heating
clown me.
pad.
Oh, heating. I don't have no heating pad, but you know what
Yeah,
I do
you
have?
do.
I have
You do.
plenty of these pads that you put on, you stick on your body. I'm sure you guys know what these are, right?
No, actually, I really don't.
They call what they call lidocaine patches.
Oh yeah, you ain't winning no race.
Yeah, I definitely don't have no issues, so I don't know what that is.
Right.
I had a back surgery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
ain't
definitely not
winning
win
no
that
race.
race. So you just making it worse and worse for yourself. Like, ain't nobody believing you're gonna win any kind of race.
I was only in the
You're like, I
water
got
for
back
2
problems.
days.
I got back problems. You know, I got this, I got that. Like, okay, you're not helping your case at all, sir.
Nah, yeah, try it. And say,
Oh, you okay? Okay.
Delusional, man. Delusional.
Okay.
Y'all just don't know.
You don't
No,
want to.
I don't know.
Oh,
You
man.
don't want to.
No.
Well, you think because you're a little bit, couple years younger than me, you think that
I'm a lot of years
Couple.
younger than you. A lot of years.
Huh?
A couple is 2. A couple is 2. I'm a lot of years younger. Stop playing with me.
Maybe a couple decades.
Like, don't play with me. Like,
wow.
you tried it.
I don't have no wrinkles. I don't see no wrinkles up
Nah,
in
you
there.
look good, man. You look good. You look
Yeah,
good for your age, man. You know, black don't crack. You know, you took care of yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, my age. Okay,
I give it
that's
to you,
all right.
man. Yeah.
Mhm.
I miss
Yeah.
Nightcap. Let me get out of here and go see what I missed on Nightcap, y'all.
I appreciate y'all having me on. I appreciate you having me on, Coach. I appreciate all the last brother D.
God.
You know, I had a good time. You know?
Oh, same here, man. No, thanks, man. You know,
I want to just say,
we get
Oh, go
passionate,
ahead.
but watch out for that Trumper, man. He like to come through here, that Christian nationalist. You know what I
Not
mean?
the Trumper. I'm done.
oh,
Not
he's
you
a
calling
Trumper.
the Sierra
He's
Trumper. I'm
definitely-
done.
He's definitely a Trumper. Yeah, yep. Want to take people food off their table and stuff. Yeah, a Trumper. Yeah.
Where are we going? Hold on. Okay, Naughty, close it out, please, before we go someplace else.
But like I said,
Sorry.
Naughty,
They
close it
do.
out before we go home.
Make sure-
Before we
make
go
sure-
to
make sure y'all
EBT
hit
and
the
the
like and
federal
subscribe
shutdown.
button. Right, hit the like and subscribe button. Just Simply Sports. Brother D, if you got a channel, I don't know it, but Just Simply Sports.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know your channel. You
I
don't have it
interviewed
at
a
the
top
bottom.
artist for RCA Sony. Are you kidding me?
I'm not in Philly, man. I'm in Atlanta. I don't really know. So but I'm willing to be educated. It's no problem.
It's Kaja's fault. It's Kaja's fault. She knew who I interview. She knew who I get down with.
So maybe if you
appreciate
stop
that,
talking
dude.
more, if you stop talking about your lidocaine patches and your delusions in terms of beating me in a race and speak more about your channel, we would be more informed.
Well,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you that dude. I don't got no doubt about it. I'm pretty sure you that dude up in Philly.
No, I don't play.
And not trying to help you, make you feel good about yourself. I'm done.
No, but no, I don't do all that. You know, Kai, you know that I don't play like that. No,
Right,
I'm just
but-
saying. No, I just assumed that you knew that you know
You shouldn't. You obviously tell me you assume too much.
that you
Yeah, I
know
don't know.
I interviewed for RCA, Sony, and Capitol
Okay.
Records.
Okay, that's
I didn't know that. I know you
I'll check
interview.
it
I didn't know.
out.
I didn't know for those record labels. I didn't know that.
Yeah, RCA Inspirational. Yep, Capitol,
Mhm.
which is also on the Sony and
Mhm.
RCA.
Yeah, I know that you interviewed. I didn't know like who it was for. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Well, like I was gonna finish, I was gonna say follow me at One Man Cave. Also, and on the raw side of things, earlier we interviewed the first Atlanta rapper, Mojo out of Atlanta. So we had that interview. But yeah, I also built for this radio network, In the Game Network, and all the platforms. And again, Naughty for President 2032.
Oh God. OMG.
I'll vote for you as long as no, you're not a Democrat or Republican.
I'm neither one of them. I'm just me.
There you go. Now
running
I'm
independent.
a Democrat.
That's fine. I'm running independent. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care about Democrat, Republican, anything. I care about
Yeah.
people. So
Exactly. Yo, see, Naughty, now we here. Now we here. Now I can take that little voodoo doll I have you off my shelf and take the pins out of it. Because now I know where we go. I was just jabbing that thing up, man. No, because listen, we gotta understand, man. It's about people, man. You can't just see having to our ladies and stuff like that, and they just sit there talk about black women. I'm like, are you kidding?
Okay, here we go. Time to go. All right, you guys.
All right.
Have a wonderful night. It is almost
All right.
3 a.m. I'm gonna get out of here. You can follow Brother D, and maybe he should start a politic channel or something. I don't know, politics and issues within our society, or I don't know what's going on. Like
yeah, we can
that'd
do
be a
that.
good channel for you.
We can do that on the Controversial Truth. I have you in on the Controversial Truth one of these days, Brother D. I do that on Thursdays where I have, I think black people, we entertain too much by sports, music, movies, and TV. Sometimes we have to have real conversation, and politics is important in our society, mental health, things of that nature. So I have real conversations on the Controversial Truth on Thursday. So if you ever want to be a part of that, I'd love to have you on.
I'm with you. Let me just say this to you. I'm sorry, Kyle. Let me say
Oh,
this.
make
I
it
know you
quick.
want to go to bed.
Mhm.
Okay. Great people for you to hook up with your down in your area. 1, E. Dewey Lewis. Number 2, Pastor Creflo Dollar. And 3, oh God, what's his name?
Pastor Creflo Dollar would never be on my platform.
I'm on. Okay. All right. So keep moving.
He done been on my platform 5
He
times.
said
Yeah,
that.
he
He said that with conviction.
He
So
won't
that's
be
not
on
happening.
mine.
What did he do?
We ain't gotta go. I'm from Atlanta, bro. I know all too well about Creflo Dollar.
But bro, one day you and I have to talk about it. Seriously,
Yes, please do that
bro.
on the Controversial Truth, but
Right.
not tonight.
Human
Mhm.
Yeah.
they take care of human trafficking and laughing. I partner with them with some stuff, bro. Seriously, but anyway.
Okay, that's fine. I won't partner with him on nothing.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, you hurt my heart, brother. Anyway, go ahead. God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So on a more serious note, because this young man's weighing really, really heavy on my heart. Marshawn Nealon, as we all know, Dallas, former Dallas Cowboys player, obviously now, took his own life about a week ago now, or about a week ago, would say almost. No, not a week ago, because he caught that touchdown. Thursday, I believe, would be a week.
Yeah, a few
I just
days
wanna
ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, y'all, like, if y'all are having any kind of issue, I know it's easier said than done, but please try to speak to somebody. Please try to reach out to a loved one, a friend, a coworker, a pastor, a therapist, anybody that you feel you can trust. A stranger sometimes can give you a kind word and be a listening ear. But just please, y'all, don't. I know it's easier said than done. Sometimes, you get really, really depressed, really sad, and we all have our moments. I know I have mine. But please, it was so disturbing for me seeing him catch that touchdown. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought something happened to him. Like, he was killed, something happened. But I'm like, he took his home life. I'm like, I don't know what he was going through. I'm not going to pretend like I did. I'm just saying this for anybody out there who happens to come across this, like, please, y'all, I know we all go through things in this life and it gets really, really hard and dark sometimes, but please try to find another way of dealing, of coping. And tough times don't last forever. I know sometimes we feel like we were in it, like it's just going to stay like that. It's never going to get better. It's been a long time. It's been months. It's been weeks. But at some point, the tide will turn. And I'm just praying that if any of you do anything, that, you just stay, rooted in your faith and, you hold on to those around you who you trust. And, just know that it'll get better.
Amen.
Yeah, I second that. I did a whole show on Thursday on the Controversial Truth, dedicated to Marshawn Kneeland and mental health. So if y'all got a chance to check that out, go check that out. And I plan on continuing that conversation this Thursday with a mental health professional to drive home the points that
I like that.
we were making. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that. That's really important. I think we don't talk enough about it. Sometimes we kind of make fun of it, but mental health is a real thing. And sometimes we got to know that. So it's important, to lead with kindness and, not just say whatever. I know it's social media and we be leaving crazy comments sometimes on the pages, but you never know who's reading it and what they're going through with their mind is, so let's just try to be aware of that sometimes, although I know it's really like, oh, social media, don't take it seriously, but there are people that really do take it seriously. They really hold on to those negative comments, and it makes it even worse for them. So a little bit more kindness, you guys, is where I'm at.
Please. Amen. No, I just want to say I agree with that 100%, because the fact that I do 3 shows a year now, I'm up to 3 on human trafficking, and I tell you no lie, every time the ratings go down, every year the ratings go lower and lower and lower. And I'm talking about human trafficking, and people don't even understand how people can be in your neighborhood. They could be trafficked, and they track them with tattoos and just running sex shops, and with boys and girls and adults. So, and it's crazy how people, some of us don't care about it. It's like, oh, well, I'm fine in my life. And it's really sad. And I do that in conjunction with the Red Cross. I know a couple people at the Red Cross that I do in conjunction with. And it's crazy. It really is. But it's real. People are suffering out here.
That's true. Very, very true. Probably some people you don't even know. People you might see at work, school, grocery store, whatever. You'd be surprised who's going through some really tough times. You really will be surprised. So I'm praying for all y'all out there. I appreciate you guys as always. As controversial as Nasir can be and his Shador hate, he tunes in every single Monday with me and Nadi. He's here every single time, and he rocks out with pretty much the whole entire show. So Nasir, I appreciate your support. Even we don't always agree, but I appreciate your support. Anybody else who, Big Dog, my fellow Dallas brother, he comes through. Brother D, the both of you, I have to say thank you for just being there, even outside of sports, for being there with me. I lost someone really close to me, you guys, and these two have been very much good friends to me in this time. So thank you guys so much as well. I appreciate you.
Most deaf, girl.
All right, you guys. Good night. Be safe. Have a wonderful, productive, and safe week.
Amen.
All right, I'll let y'all.
All right. God bless, guys.
Good night.
Yeah.